Hey everyone, this is Daniel,
And I'm Jun,
and we are
Korean.
American.
Hey Daniel,
Hey Jin,
I don't know how to start this.
it's been a while since we recorded.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm super tired actually.
Oh no.
Yeah. So our office, we have an office in the US.
Yeah.
So we have colleagues that work in the US that are
Mm-hmm.
American people.
Mm-hmm.
They came this week there for a business trip.
Mm.
I mean, super excited to collaborate with them and everything. Very
Yeah.
good conversation, meetings, whatever. But I understand that I have a capacity. I have a capacity not only in terms of like the absolute amount of energy,
Mm-hmm.
but
Socialization.
English capacity.
English
Yeah.
capacity. I was not expecting that.
영어 너무 많이 했어. I feel like I don't have the energy to talk in English anymore.
It's so
Almost.
interesting. Oh. There's like a mental tax you pay still.
I feel like it.
Oh,
Or at
interesting.
least because I think majority of the time I'm actually speaking in Korean. And there is my brain goes through, I think, requires additional energy
Mm-hmm.
to speak in English
Yeah,
because it's not my first language anyways.
interesting.
It's like meetings for how many hours today? Like 4 or 5 hours straight.
Fully English.
Fully English.
Ah.
Yeah.
But normally it's not like that.
Normally it's 100% Korean.
When you're working in your office with the Korean team.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, I see. Interesting.
Oh, I
I
might,
went
I might, I might, what was that, run out of English energy and like
switch to
start
Korean.
talking in Korean.
Do it, do it.
Tokens, like I've used all my tokens, my quota.
I wonder because you're probably one of the better English speaking people in the Korean office, whether they look to you to speak more and communicate more than you might otherwise.
Yeah, definitely that, but
Mm.
also we do have interpreters in house.
Ah,
But I feel like sometimes it's better to just talk to them in English because
yeah.
that's reducing another layer of translation, right?
Yes,
So
and you're capable of it.
So
So,
I'm constantly talking
mm.
to my Korean colleagues in Korean
Ah,
and then like English,
yeah.
Korean, English.
There was that one random headline. It was some like Jebo CEO
Mm-hmm.
that was being called before like the Korean Congress or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were grilling him. I forgot exactly what it was about. Maybe it'll trigger it for you. But he started only responding in English from the beginning. And at one point,
Oh,
one
I
of the
know.
congressmen was like, Mr. Whatever,
Yeah.
why are you speaking in English? Because we summoned you 3 years ago and you were speaking in full Korean, so we know you have the
Oh,
capacity.
who's that guy? Who's that guy?
Oh, it's so funny though. But he was using English basically as a way to like limit the communication.
I know, I know.
So funny.
Oh, I know exactly. I forgot who
Uh,
it was, but
anyway, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's been the longest we've gone. No, no, I traveled last July for a whole month. So
Mm,
okay, it hasn't been a month since we recorded, but
mm.
3 weeks I think.
There's as much as I really love recording,
Hmm.
I did feel a sense of liberation.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have so much more. Maybe it's more than 4 to 6 hours a week. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more like 6 to 8, six to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think well, it's a good segue into some of the changes we made.
Mm-hmm.
I do think not publishing reels,
Mm,
it's a huge time saver on your end
mm.
because you were fully responsible for that.
Yeah.
And also,
That was a huge part of my liberation.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think for me it has helped not
Mm,
having Instagram comments and notifications come through.
mm-hmm.
So whether, maybe you can share why we did stop the reels,
Mm,
but whether we continue to not put out reels or just turn off comments entirely.
mm,
Definitely some of the more toxic comments were getting to me.
mm,
Not because of the toxic comments themselves per se,
mm-hmm.
and I've thought this through a lot and
Mm,
I stand by what I'm about to say, but I think if it's reflective of some percentage of the population feeling this way,
mm,
that makes me very uncomfortable.
mm, mm, mm,
From the beginning, June, with the awkward camera angles and whether we
mm,
should ever reveal our faces or all of that, I think I'm a very private person by
mm,
nature.
mm,
And so, even though I wanted to put this podcast out and record it,
mm,
I never expected to get anywhere close to this level of, popularity.
mm,
So yeah, I have to deal with that
mm,
and figure out where I'm at with it.
mm,
Not having short form video content. I think that's where a lot of the negativity came through.
Yeah.
Of course, some of the YouTube comments too, June, they are, saying they disagree, but it always feels more respectful. And also, I know that most of those commenters have at least watched the full long form content. And in that case, I feel like I'm at least not being misunderstood. I think the short form content sometimes I feel like I'm misunderstood or people are responding in a way that makes me feel like, oh, they didn't actually hear what I was saying or they don't understand what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, I think by nature, short form videos are limited to 1 minute, right? I know it differs slightly by platform, but I think it it boils down to whatever the shortest length that is supported, which is YouTube, and they support only up to 160 seconds, I guess. So by nature of trying to squeeze a certain content of conversation into that length, I think obviously there are certain things that are missing, and therefore it creates some sort of misunderstanding. To be clear, I don't think it was all negative. I think it gained certain popularity. It was the fuel for us to gain this kind of momentum and followers, so that it spilled into our long form videos as well. So I think in that sense, it did. It's oh my god, I used up all my English quota. In that sense, it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I resonate with you the most on the misunderstanding part. Sometimes it was so like 답답해 and like 억울해, because if you just saw the long form content, we do discuss everything that you are pointing out, and
In more depth, with more nuance,
Yeah.
right? And
and I think there's a certain like commenting culture depending on the platform too. Like because we did publish it on all three major platforms, which is Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. But I think Instagram, I mean, to be clear, Instagram has disproportionately large volume of
Following.
followers. But anyways, I thought it was more just like more toxic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we tried turning off comments for non-followers, which I think helped a lot. But I think, yeah, I didn't want to allow for any possibilities of getting more toxic comments. And it is very liberating. I mean, I apologize because I know a lot of people. I mean, majority of our followers only consume our content through
Shorts,
short form
yeah.
videos, which means for them, we just stop creating
Existing,
content. But yeah,
yeah.
maybe we'll make this into a short at least.
No.
To let them know that we do exist in long form. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I think, June, if you're willing to put out short form, we can try with comments off, or sorry, with comments from followers only. Because we actually didn't keep that on very long with new reels, just to
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
what it looked like. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways,
So, anything more on this, or should we move on?
we can move on.
Okay. Yeah, June, it's been 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What you been up to?
Me?
Yeah.
Work's been busy.
Yeah.
So we're in the process of developing an app, which is supposed to be released for public beta starting early April,
Oh,
which is
wow.
like
Yeah,
next
yeah, yeah.
weekish. So you can imagine.
Yeah, this is crunch time.
Yeah. So I've been super busy. And then we're also expecting, I don't know how much I can disclose.
Yeah.
I'll just stop here.
Okay.
So I've been super busy at work. I already talked about my new routine of trying to exercise more regularly. That's still going on. I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah. What
I
about
think
you?
The last we recorded was right before our kids' spring break. So we went to Guam,
Yes.
which before moving to Korea, I did have one of my roommates before. He grew up in Guam, so
College roommates?
post college. Yeah,
You had roommates after college?
yeah. Is that weird?
I don't know. Is that
Oh yeah.
American culture?
No, I think it's. I like having roommates. It's fun. Yeah.
It's definitely an anomaly in Korea.
Yeah, I think that's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, either live with home or you live alone.
No, you do have roommates, but it's only specifically during college.
Oh, I know. Sorry, as
yeah.
like a young 20s professional
Yeah.
in Korea,
Oh yeah,
You
you
generally
either live alone
or you live
or
with family.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. We should talk about that.
Okay.
Why isn't, I mean, not in this episode, in
Mhm.
some future episode. Anyway, yeah.
But it's so I find it surprising because I would think that like in my image in like for American culture,
Hmm.
I think it would be very I think American people find it weird to live with someone else post college, but you're saying it's more common than
No, I think it's quite common. Yeah,
interesting.
you know, in like big cities like New York, it's literally survival. You cannot afford to live
That's true.
alone. So,
Maybe it's because of that.
yeah.
Because you're forced to do it.
But Korea's the same.
Is it?
It's so expensive.
But
That's
if you
the one
want to,
thing.
but in Korea, if you want to live in like a very small one room, like
Oh,
a studio
it's
apartment, it's
affordable.
still
Yeah. Mhm.
affordable. But in New York, it isn't.
Yeah. I think that's probably it. Like the step up from very small, tiny one bed or studio
Yeah.
to like a two bed plus,
Mm.
it's more than twice the price, right? Yeah. So I think maybe it's just an affordability thing.
During college, I always had a roommate until my last year.
I mean, post college, I had a roommate up until I got married. So I lived in
Oh.
what, three different living arrangements, all with roommates.
Oh, but you know why? You know what? So I had so my fourth year, so my last year in college,
Yeah.
I lived alone.
Mm.
But then I went to grad school where I always had a roommate.
Mm.
And then I came back to Korea and I lived with my brother for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Which was a roommate situation, but it's also family.
yeah. So technically, yeah, I haven't lived so long in my life alone.
So yeah,
Anyways.
Guam. I came back. I was so dark. That's the first thing everyone commented on. But yeah, okay. So I had a roommate in my 20s who grew up in Guam. So I knew Guam existed.
Korean,
They were Korean,
Korean Guam.
which is
Wait.
Korean American. So Guam is an American territory. It's not a state, no
Yeah.
voting rights or anything. But it's, if you're born there, you're an American citizen. And it's in the like, I don't even know what to call it, Pacific tropical area.
That part's always confusing to me. What does it mean, like American territory, but it's
Oh.
not a part of their sovereign? I don't even know how that works.
To be honest, I don't either. Like Puerto Rico, Saipan,
yeah.
and Guam, I think they're like American territories. So we own it, but
But
they don't have
they
any voting representation.
But there were like native Guam people too, right?
yes,
Polynesian.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like some kind of like, is this like a PC way of calling a colony? It's our territory.
Yeah, yeah. The history is probably, again, I don't know it. I think most Americans would not either.
So
But-
it is America.
It is America.
I see.
Yeah, so yeah, I knew it existed just because of that roommate.
Mm-hmm.
But I could not have pointed it out on a map. I
So
had no
do
idea
they
where it was.
technically have American citizenship?
Yes, 100%.
But
have
they
American
can't vote.
passports.
But they can't vote. That's so
They
interesting.
don't. Maybe they vote for the. Yeah, they don't vote. Yeah, they're not a state.
So they're a citizen minus votership,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge part of citizenship.
Well, June, Washington D.C. for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
their whole motto was taxation without representation. So they get taxed, but they
Mm-hmm.
also had no voting rights until very recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
but anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
but here, June, it's one of the most popular travel destinations, I would say, for Koreans. So
For pregnant
specifically
couples.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I just recently knew about that because we have one of my colleagues.
Yeah.
His wife is pregnant, and they were like, "Oh, I'm going to vacation," and everyone's like, "You're going to Guam, right?"
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "How did you know?"
Oh.
And they were like, "Everyone goes to Guam when they're pregnant."
I didn't know that, but when you messaged me,
Mm-hmm.
I started noticing, pregnant women everywhere. But actually, even more than pregnant women, I think very young kids, so under a year or something like that. They were everywhere.
Why is that? Why do you think that's like a pregnant couple destination?
Why are you asking me? I should be asking you.
Because you've been there.
Oh, I have some insight into it, actually. I talked to a Korean American. It's kind of weird saying it, but a Korean American who lived in Guam and has a lot of enterprises on Guam.
I remember asking the same question to that person who was about to go to Guam. They told me something, but I think it was a very generic and like to me it felt like that's not a reason, kind of. So that's why I think I forgot.
So the explanation that was told to me by a Korean woman who married that Korean American who is now living in Guam together that we met up with. She said it's, you want to go to like a beach type place. Because when you're pregnant, you can't do much active stuff. You can't be running around cities in Europe, etc. You just need somewhere you can kind of chill.
Yeah.
And since it's America, there's a general perception that it's much, much safer than, let's say, Southeast Asia. So, Vietnam, Indonesia, some of the other tropical destinations. So that's at least what was told to me, which makes sense. So you want some sort of tropical beach again when you're pregnant. Can't do much. And where is the safest nearby tropical destination?
Well, why don't you go to
Guam.
like
Jeju?
Bali?
I mean, again, Bali is Southeast Asia and maybe generally
But
considered
no,
less
I don't
safe.
think anyone thinks that Bali is unsafe, right?
Really?
I
I
don't-
mean, you can drink the water in Guam. I would never drink the tap water in Bali or Vietnam, Indonesia or Vietnam. It's generally things like that, right? Mosquitoes, various diseases, and overall cleanliness, let's say.
Oh, like cleanliness wise,
Just and
hygiene
safety, yeah.
wise.
Safety in all regards, June.
So they want to go to a developed
Developed
country,
country,
but it is
close
like
beach,
tropical.
and
kind
Jeju's
of-
not exotic enough. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
So, but that was what was told to me.
But you know what I really don't like the fact that in Korea there's always like things that are
Oh,
like
the one thing to do.
yeah. I don't know why people don't understand that it looks silly. Like even for clothes and fashion,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't understand why people don't think that's kind of silly looking if you're like wearing the same stuff.
I don't think it's silly. I think it's safe.
It's safe.
Yeah. If so many other people do it, you know what to expect. You're like following the crowd. I don't think that's weird.
That's like, but that's also kind of like your brand. Like you're that type of person who would like just blatantly follow whatever.
But
other
if
people-
everyone's doing that, June, I'm surprised the collectivist in you is not like fully supportive of this.
I always think that it's so silly. Oh, whatever.
You're a bit contrarian by nature, though, I think. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Countercultural?
Oh, countercultural, maybe.
That's your nature. But, okay, summary, Guam, it's a very older island. For example, the mall, Micronesia Mall, straight out of the 80s, not even 90s. It's like the colors, the material, the stores, it's like straight out of the 80s. A lot of the resorts
What are those malls called? Like American,
They're not strip malls. This is just a regular mall.
All
yeah.
American Mall or something? There's a word for it.
No, All American Mall?
That's not the word, but there is a word for it.
Okay. But yeah, it's totally an older mall. A lot of the resorts, we stayed at one of the nicer ones, to be fair. But a lot of the resorts are a bit older, outdated. One of them, that other friend I was talking about, my former roommate, was like, yeah, that resort and building's been there for 40 years, right? Generally not updated that much. We went to a Kmart, I believe. It must be the last. Maybe that's not true.
A Kmart.
But we went to a Kmart, not a Korean mart.
I
the
remember
original
Kmart's. Yeah, I remember Kmart's when I was living in LA,
In the
1990s.
90s,
Yeah, Kmart.
So Kmart,
Ralph's.
Sears.
Do you know Ralph's?
No.
Maybe that's.
Well, that's a SoCal grocery chain. Those are
Uh,
still around.
Yeah.
But Kmart, Sears, for me, that's like 90s. I don't know if there are Kmart's everywhere still in the U.S. I'm sure there's some. But again, this Kmart felt like it was straight out of the 90s. So yeah, definitely older infrastructure wise.
Do you feel nostalgia?
I loved it, June. Yeah, just like no, and then she just like live free.
Yeah.
Everyone speaking English to me. Oh, the best moment is when you first land off the airplane. Literally, there's a U.S. citizens line and a non-U.S. citizens line. On our whole flight, we were the only U.S. citizens. It was we were just like boss, like straight through customs, whatever.
Yeah.
Literally the only one on our whole full flight.
Because
that had a
no
US passport.
U.S. citizen goes there. Is that why?
No, definitely. I mean, it just happened to be that it was all Koreans.
Wait, do they have a military base there?
Yes. So let me tell you more about Guam. It's about, I think, 160,000 people live there.
160,000.
The main, I guess, industry besides tourism is U.S. Air Force and Navy. So they have a huge military presence. Obviously, it's very strategic, right? It's the only U.S. territory besides Saipan, which is even smaller than Guam. But yeah, very strategic militarily, politically for U.S. to have that island. But it's small, June. I think you can drive from the northernmost point to the southernmost point in like an hour. Yeah, so it's very tiny. But yeah, beautiful beaches. I think the thing I love the most, my kids, especially my oldest, he really got into snorkeling. So all he wanted to do was snorkel.
Yeah.
He probably could have snorkeled for hours. And I think while it wasn't the most beautiful, like colorful coral, whatever, what was nice about it was super shallow for super large area,
Hmm.
and generally like untouched. Of course, there were people, but just like it was so big that the density of people snorkeling wasn't that bad.
Is it the type where it's like coral reefy, or is this like all sand?
No, it's coral. There's coral everywhere, which
Uh,
makes for a bunch of fish. But it wasn't
mm.
as the colors weren't bright. It was kind of like brown and green. You know, I've been snorkeling other
So they're
places. Like
alive, that's why.
maybe
I think
that's
the
it.
dead corals are white.
No, 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 not white, but like like tropical colors.
I
Even
see.
the fish were not that tropically colored.
Hmm.
They weren't that bright,
Hmm.
but there were so many. I think we counted like over 20 different fish types we saw, and
Ah,
they're just everywhere.
okay.
Actually, that's the reason my second kid didn't like it. And I think the Korean word is like chingoro.
Ah,
Like she
징그러워.
felt really like, oh, or I don't want to put my feet on the bottom because
Yeah.
there's like a lot of dead looking stuff there, like
Ah,
moldy, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so we absolutely loved our time.
Mm.
We had Thai food, we had Vietnamese food, we had Mexican food.
Hmm.
And again, I don't think it's like top class, but compared to what I've been able to get in Korea, so good, you know,
Mm.
salty, whatever. And I'd also say it's like there's no tax or sales tax on the whole island.
Oh, that's awesome.
And service charge, there is tipping culture, but it's included and it's capped at 10%, which I'm very happy to pay. So
That's
it's
like
like
the best of two worlds.
exactly.
Yeah.
There is tip, but it's like a reasonable amount, and
Yeah.
you're not expected to pay more.
Mm.
So overall, like I don't know if that's Korea's influence or whatever it might be. It was a very very awesome trip. Yeah, we had a wonderful time.
What about price of accommodation?
Yeah, I would say it's roughly, you know, before I've said Jeju Island is what 60% of Hawaii at 40% the cost.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Guam is 80% of Hawaii at
Mm.
65% the cost. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's good gasunbi, good
Mm.
value.
Good 가성비. Oh, now I want to go to Guam.
We want to go back. Yeah, it was really great.
I, because I told you when you first told me that you're gonna go to
Mm,
Guam. I've never been to Guam, by the
hmm.
way, but I
Yeah.
just heard that it's like a rundown version of Hawaii. So why would you go?
Well, June, Hawaii is like 10 hours from here. It's
Uh,
crazy expensive.
but I heard it's like much better than Guam.
Okay, if I called Guam what I said, 80%,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a little high. No, I
Mm.
think 80% is fair.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I guess you got to get married and or, you know,
have
have a
kids.
kid.
I'll show you that I can go to Guam without kids.
You might feel very out of place.
Really? I love that.
Is there you know, in America, you call it a baby moon? Is there a
Mm,
Korean term for this trip that you go on when you're pregnant?
yeah, I think it's called 태교 여행.
Uh,
Do you know what 태교 is?
I know Taemyeong is in utero name, so I'm
Yeah,
guessing Tae is the similar Tae.
yeah, but literally, 교 is like 교 for 학교.
Okay.
So it's like in
In utero
in
school.
utero education,
Uh,
but it's like all of those things that the mother does, like listening to good music or like
oh, it's
reading books
included in
for the baby.
that.
That's called 태교,
Okay.
and it's like 태교 여행. It's
Oh,
like,
I see, I see.
but it's like a good excuse to
For the
go to.
benefit of the
Yeah.
child.
But
Wait,
that's
that's
what
so
it's called.
funny.
Yeah.
No one would ever call a baby moon for the benefit of the kid.
Yeah.
Every parent's like, it's your last chance to go on a trip.
Yeah. 태교 여행.
Which is indirectly for the good of the kid because it's for the good of the parents.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Anything else I want to say about Guam? You know, Korean American, I guess, friend, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Koreans would not call him a friend, but I consider him a friend. That family friend, they run, what?
No, you're so like now. It's in your head. Like,
They run a resort there.
mm,
Not a major one, but they run a resort there. And they said basically, yeah, Koreans don't think they got their money's worth unless they complain about something. So again, you know, 90+% of his clientele are Koreans,
mm.
and he's just like they always have something to complain about.
That's so
How do you
sad.
feel about that?
I mean, it must be true if he said it. But
I think Koreans, I will say after living here too, you get a little spoiled
mm,
in that if you have money, you have a lot of freedom and choice.
mm,
And I think like there is this expectation that people will cater to you.
mm,
They will go up, you know, the service culture and industry is so high here, right? Like you
mm,
have to try to outcompete, outperform your
mm,
competitors.
mm,
And so in a sense it's like heavily skewed towards
mm,
you who are the consumer who has money to spend.
mm.
And so I could see that definitely influencing your psyche and mindset.
Yeah,
Um,
that also, but I think it's a trade-off of society.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how everything's so convenient here in Korea?
It is, yeah.
Like if you sign up for internet, they like literally come on the day of or
yeah,
like
yeah.
the day after, but in America it doesn't.
You get spoiled.
It is no, what I'm trying to say is it's a trade-off because that everyone's working so hard to meet that expectation and demand.
Yeah.
You get that service and convenience,
Yeah.
but you as a service provider
have to provide that.
provide that
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
And so like if like everyone's like loosened up, like maybe I think an extreme case would be like France. I don't know. I've heard France is like that.
Hey, why are you picking on France? We have listeners in France.
I mean, but they would all agree. Like everything's
what?
so
Service is so
everything
low.
service is so low, everything's so slow,
Yeah.
and like nothing ever like happens as expected, whatever. But it's also that's proof that everyone's like having a good life because them as a service provider also takes it easy, right?
I think you can use Guam as that example, not
Yeah.
France. Final story about Guam. I went to the Mexican place. I ordered food for our three kids meals.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not, it took over 20 minutes for them to come out. And I had to ask them. They literally they cooked everything one after the other, serially.
Yeah.
There was no parallelization.
Yeah.
Including like the tortilla chips they were deep frying. They were not cooking French fries in the fryer next to it at the same time. They waited for the tortilla chips to be done. Then they loaded up I'm just like, what is going on right now? And then
Do you think you were more annoyed because you lived in Korea for 3 years?
no,
3 and a
I
half?
would have
Yeah.
I would have been this was ridiculous.
Okay.
But it's an island, they have zero competition, right?
Yeah.
And so actually it would have been even longer if I waited for my food to come out. But like literally they cooked the kids' meals. I'd already paid for everything. And I was like, "Oh, can I just get those now so I don't have to wait another 10 minutes so I can feed my hungry kids?" And they're like, "Sure." But it was just like the least rushed thing ever. And then of course I was talking to one of the locals there and they were like, "Yep, island time. That's like the culture here."
Yeah.
Seriously though, in my mind, the only thing I was thinking was like, thank goodness there's no one else here waiting. How 20 plus minutes for like a taco? I mean, I'm just like, oh, anyway, yeah.
But the taco was good.
I loved it. Yeah. I mean, but June, I was like, I just want to go back there and cook it for myself. It was so crazy watching the one worker go so slowly.
But he's having his chill life.
It's a very chill island life, yeah. But to counter that, June, I will say, to your point, the locals are all super easygoing, very chill, super nice. Of course, there's a little bit of like trying to get your money from some of the touristy areas. But beyond that, just all the locals are super, super nice and friendly. Okay.
Cool. It's a long intro, 30 minutes.
I have another funny story. I don't know if...
Let's
but
go.
yeah, the reason I was 10 minutes late today, June, I was scootering over here on my oldest son's scooter, which every time I use it, I feel a little bit silly. Like I'm a grown man on like a scooter, but anyway. Kicking along, and then that tunnel right before we get to your place. I saw two women speaking in English, and it was very fluent English. I was like, they're definitely native English speakers. And so I scooted past them, right?
Seemingly Korean.
They're both Asian, I know that, but they're speaking in English, and so I scoot by them, and then like, I'm just like, I have to talk to them, right?
Yeah.
That's just me. I hear English, I say hi.
Yeah.
But it's kind of awkward. Like I already scooted by. It's dark outside. They're
Yeah.
two, they're not the only people there, so it's nothing like that. But two women at night, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna forget it. So I actually come all the way up to not quite into your lobby, but up the hill even. No, I gotta talk to them, right?
Okay.
I'm like literally on my way to record this podcast.
Yeah.
And so I actually go back and I do catch them right before they go into their building. And I'm just like, I'm really sorry, but I hear you speaking English. I have to say hi. Like,
Yeah.
are you guys American? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like cold intro. But they're they're super friendly and happy. So we just talked.
Yeah.
Turns out they are both teachers at my kid's international school. Which
Oh,
is
and you
very close.
and you didn't recognize them.
Sorry, they both work there. One's back office staff, but I definitely would notice them. The school employs hundreds of people.
Oh, so they're not teachers, but they're
I don't actually know what they do, but they both work at my kids' international school, and they both knew my kids. So it was fun to talk. But in my mind, I was just like, I love this. Of course, I would never do that in America where everyone's speaking English. But just it was very nice. It was a very nice interaction. and they're both fluent English speaking women who live very close by. I would love to get one or both of them on the pod at some point. So I did tell them and invited them to come on at some point. So
Did they tell you where they live?
I know where they live. I'm not going to share it. They were literally walking into their apartment building when I
but
called
they didn't
them.
explicitly say we live somewhere, or you didn't.
They were
You
like, we
probably
live
didn't
here.
ask.
No, they were like, we live here.
I see.
They were like literally walking into the lobby of their apartment building. So,
Neighbors. But I think you're a very unique form of an introvert.
I love connection and relationship.
Yeah,
I hate big groups. Yeah.
you are unique, I think.
Is that unique?
At least in a Korean mind. Like an introvert in Korean
Yeah.
or Korea would never do that.
Interesting.
You are unique.
I mean, I score like 55-45 on the IE scale.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
So I'm right in between. Yeah. Anyway, I
So
thought
you
that was
got
a fun story.
You got your
Socialization.
dose of American socialization.
No, June, this is very utilitarian because even the reason I approached was like, oh, like they live nearby, I'm assuming. English speaking females, female perspectives on the podcast. That's really why I ultimately decided to turn around and very awkwardly say hi.
What kind of a unique hybrid are you? American and Korean.
No, if I wasn't literally on my way to record this episode,
Yeah.
I would not have stopped. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a long intro,
But today's episode is nothing about Guam, nor is it
No,
about
no.
like social connections or anything.
No, we're
and it's
doing
a
a media
very
review.
long-awaited episode, at
for
least
you,
for me.
for you.
Yeah, which is, I mean, people are already gonna know because we're gonna have it in the title. But yeah, today we're gonna review this is one of my bucket lists for this podcast. Media. This is another recurring episode of a media review, and we are reviewing Neun Solo.
Solo,
Yay!
or I Am Solo,
Oh, that's what it's
the
called. in
English
English.
translation.
It's like
which is a direct
literal. Yeah.
translation.
Yay! It's like what I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, I think it's the only TV you consume.
Basically,
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that I already told you the reason that I don't really watch K-dramas
Okay.
is because of their theatrical tone.
Ah.
And so for me, I'm the type of person if I think that it's fake, I can't really empathize
Oh, really?
and
You
resonate
can't
with
get
it.
into it.
So I usually what I like watching is documentaries or reality shows.
Interesting.
And this show is like the most raw form of reality show in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's almost like a social experiment.
Yeah.
That's why I love it so much.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like even like the other dating shows,
Mm-hmm.
it almost looks like they're like semi-celebrities or
yeah,
influencers
yeah.
who obviously it looks like they have like other priorities in mind when
Yeah.
they come on the show
Yeah,
other
yeah,
than
yeah.
like actually to find love. But these people are like literally people that you can see every day on the streets.
That's true.
Yeah.
Looks wise, they're very,
Yeah.
normal looking.
Yeah.
Let's say. I don't know if I agree with the authentic take. I do think in the whole spectrum of reality TV, it could lean towards the more realistic side.
Yeah.
But come on, it's so contrived still a little bit.
It's become more of that because the show became so
Popularity.
popular. So there are some like certain influencers, not like influencers,
Yeah.
but want to be influencers who come on the show and
Yeah.
then like suspiciously like create a new Instagram account or whatever. But I think the nature of it is still more on the authentic side.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really wanted, I kept on telling you to watch it,
Yeah.
but then there was this barrier because on Netflix, they didn't have English subtitles. But in our Discord community, I think that's how you knew that it.
Yeah. Vicky, apparently on Vicky,
Yeah.
there is English subs. But Vicky did not have the most famous season, which was season 16, I believe.
How do you know that?
Season 16 is very famous, June.
It was a national phenomenon.
Sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to tell you to watch 16,
But
but
I couldn't
then,
find it.
oh, you couldn't find it?
It's not on Viki. Yeah. Oh, no, I would have watched it on Viki if it was on 16. But we will be reviewing season 24 Yes, June, I watched the entire season for this.
Yeah.
For you.
The reason why I told you to watch 24 is like 24 is a pretty good season.
Was it very recent? Was it
Yeah,
one of the most recent seasons?
It ended like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the most recent season, and we'll get to it, but
Yeah.
there were definitely some interesting moments.
So excited. But I'll leave it up to you to lead the conversation.
Yeah, let's at least give an intro. So, at its core, it is about getting 6 guys and 6 girls who are looking to find love.
Yeah.
And it takes place over the course of 10 episodes.
Depends. Yeah.
Okay, but season 24 at least was 10 episodes. Each
Yeah.
episode, June, was an hour and a half. No commercials.
Yeah.
I felt like I was doing homework watching this. It's not that I didn't enjoy it, but it was the time pressure. And like, I'm not watching to enjoy. I'm like, whenever there's something, I have to like switch into my notes app and write down the notes. So I'm like observing it more than watching and enjoying it.
Yeah.
I will say by episode like 4, I was kind of into it.
Yeah.
But then I pretty much fast forwarded through the last 6,
Yeah.
and I don't regret it.
I usually have it on the background, kind of. Yeah.
It's slow.
Yeah, it's good enough. It's you can follow.
But yeah, it felt like homework, but I did get through it, June.
Yeah.
Let's see. The
It
other.
feels so surreal right now, by the way. We're finally doing this.
Okay, I don't know if we have to give more context than that.
Yeah.
Oh, the other important thing is each of the characters gets a pseudonym on the show.
That part is a very unique format of this show. Yeah.
They go through each contestant after 5 nights, and by the end of the thing, you ask each contestant one by one. Do you choose one of the other contestants that you would like to explore
your
dating
final
with?
choice.
Your final choice.
Yeah.
Or do you want to opt out and say no one, right? And if you confess or you do say I want to pursue dating or a relationship with you by whispering in their ear, my real name is X. So kind of revealing that personal name is like a very, I don't know, vulnerable thing to do. But
To add more context to this, they do get assigned a pseudonym, but I think the unique part of it is that for all seasons,
they use the same.
they use the same
pseudonyms.
pseudonyms. Yeah. So there's like the Youngsu.
Yeah.
Which
Okay,
is
so we
like-
have to talk about. Wait, let me see if there's any more context before diving into that.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the premise of the show. Yeah. Let's talk about the pseudonyms. It
Yeah.
plays a big role, and it's very confusing for me, but also confusing for the contestants. They always complain about it. They call people the wrong name all the time. So
Yeah,
it's not
that's
just
true.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the names are for men.
You know them all by
of
memory.
course, of course. So it's Youngsu, Youngho, Youngshik, Youngchol, Kwangsu,
Okay.
and Sangchol.
Yeah.
And for the women,
I can say it. I wrote down.
okay.
영숙,
Youngsuk,
정숙,
Jeongsu,
선자,
Sunja,
순자,
yeah,
영자,
Youngja,
옥순,
Oksun.
and 현숙.
Yes.
Mm.
And so they all. I think this is like the fun part of the show is that they all represent a certain type of person.
I see. Yeah.
So like your Youngchul would be like the same, but the funny thing is that they never officially announce what they are,
But everyone knows.
but everyone kind of knows.
Okay.
But there are certain names that we don't really know what the type is, kind of.
Oh, okay.
But, and there are
it's
certain
ambiguous?
names that are very like I think more commonly known. For instance, like the most famous name is Oksun,
Okay.
which is the most good looking.
Oh,
physically
okay,
good
okay,
looking.
got it. So
Would
they
always be the Oksun. And then the Youngchul is the macho type, in my understanding.
Okay,
the guy.
okay. The judo guy in this season was Youngchul.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the others are like I think more up for interpretation.
Oh,
but I
those
think
two are very obvious.
But I think Youngsu is always like the oldest guy, but it's not always the oldest guy.
Okay.
But kind of like the young
I see.
kind of vibe. I think.
So I had a question about that.
Yeah.
Is this named to personality association because of the show, or is there something more inherent about the name? Like if you hear that name, you're like, oh, that's the type. Like I don't know.
That's a good question.
Daniel is like,
Yeah.
that's a nice guy.
No, they just made it
Karen.
up. They just made it up.
Oh, but over time, the association has become that way.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And the thing about the names is
Yeah.
that it's like the very old, like 촌스러운, like old generation.
All
name.
of them are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's by design, kind of like that.
Got it.
But yeah.
Cool. I obviously didn't know that. Kwangsu has a
Oh,
strong association.
Kwangsu is like the elite nerdy, but also kind of like weirdo.
Oh, the eccentric kind of.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, this guy definitely fit
yeah.
that. Okay, how do we want to go? So I basically took episode by episode notes.
Yeah,
Although I guess like an iceberg or whatever. The
yeah.
first two episodes are like 90% of the notes.
Okay, okay.
Because by the end, again, I was like watching in 10x speed and just like trying to power through it.
I did watch
Did you
all
refresh your
episodes
memory?
except for the last episode.
You didn't watch the last episode? Did you
Yeah.
skip to the end?
No, I didn't. I just didn't watch the last episode.
Isn't the most satisfying part of this show the last 15 minutes?
But okay, it felt like I knew what's gonna happen,
Oh,
kind
okay,
of. So I didn't really want to watch, and I
Mm,
do know the result,
okay.
and it was how I
What you
expected.
expected?
Yeah.
Oh, really? They threw that last like plot twist or speed bump into that relationship at the very end, but they
It's-
did end up still choosing each other.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah,
That was kind of surprising.
yeah.
But I was more interested in like what, like everyone's interested in Oksun,
Oksun?
right? But
Okay,
I knew
okay,
that
let's get
she's
into
not
it.
gonna select anyone.
Oh, really? Yeah, I got that. So okay. Let me set more context on that too, June.
Yeah.
As a first-time viewer of this show, with
Mm-hmm.
knowing literally nothing going in, it was so confusing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Especially by the last part. So, okay, two things. One, when they're recording, they have three hosts, right? Which I have comments on them too. But I think it's a weekly or maybe one or two episodes a week are released.
Once a week.
Once a week, right?
It's actually happening tonight.
But the Dude, you're like an old like grandma, like your soap opera. You gotta watch it at like 1 p.m. every week.
It's the only show that I do. It's in Korea. It's called Bombang Sasu.
What's
Like,
that
you-
mean?
Like
Passionate viewer?
you're securing like the live broadcast.
Oh, rather than a replay.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, it's very confusing as a first-time viewer. Mostly because, okay, throughout the two things that were most confusing, you know, they record and release one episode a week, but the course of a season is only 5 nights or 5 days. I think 5 days, 4 nights, something like that.
Yeah.
So-
5박 6일, I think. 5 days, 6 nights.
I didn't-
6 days, 5 nights.
Okay, I didn't pick that up until like episode 3. And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I thought it was happening over a much longer period of time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, 5 days. I mean, that's like a very rushed, like it's almost speed dating, to be
Yeah.
honest. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
2, I didn't realize at the end they could opt out from their final choice.
Uh-huh.
Like, because basically throughout the course of the show, they're constantly doing behind the scenes or interviews with the contestants. It's like, oh, which guy are you into? What's your ranking, right? And then by the end, I thought they had to choose one because throughout the course of the episodes, no one ever said no one. They always said someone, right? So it was like this big buildup. And then at the end, you know, pretty much like 9 out of the 12 contestants were like, no one. To me, that was such a letdown. I was like, oh, they have to pick someone. Like, what if they match? Like, they have to go, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of buildup. So it was a very unsatisfying finale, I will say. But other than that, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I think, June, I have to say this. The first thing that I thought of, it felt like there was a very disproportionate frequency of things that you've told me on this podcast coming up in the show. Whether
Okay,
it's slang
which is-
words, whether
yeah.
it's mannerisms, whether it's cultural things. So in my mind, I'm like, June gets all of his cultural references from Neun Solo. Is this true?
I think it works both ways. It's because it's such like a hot topic.
Yeah.
Naturally,
It
those
comes
people,
up on the show.
and
you
also
find out
yeah,
from-
also the other way around. But I am curious, what are those things that you found
Oh,
out?
there were so many. I don't know, like cat style girl. What the heck does like a cat like mean for girl style? I don't know. Or like, you know, Lucky Vicky, the term. You know, the like the girls all aggressively covering their mouths. when
By
they
the way,
talk.
they used Lucky
Everywhere.
Vicky in a wrong way.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they didn't even know what it meant.
They just used it
As
lucky.
like
Yeah,
lucky,
not
but that's not-
ironically
yeah.
lucky. We're not like
So
that
you
with
should
lucky.
have said like, oh, they're using it the wrong way.
But anyway, those are some of the things I noticed. Yeah. Okay. Let's go episode by episode through my notes. Or is
Okay.
there anything else you wanted to lead off with, like high level thoughts?
High level thoughts. Not really, but the reason why I really wanted to cover this with you because I do think it's definitely a social experiment. And as you told me, like those things that you told me, Lucky Vicky or like 고양이상, maybe I think like cat style. I didn't get it from the show. It's like things that people talk
Okay,
about.
got it.
So I think
It
it's
is a good
very
reflection of.
yeah. So and and because it's so like they stay for 6 days, right? And that brings in a lot of dynamic and tension in
Yeah.
this show, and I think that's the fun of it. So it's like a very condensed social experiment, and we never did dating, right,
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
episode. So I think this was a very good,
Ah, okay, okay.
yeah, material for that.
They did use the word tension in the show a lot too.
Tension?
Tension.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay. Let's go through. Okay, so one of the themes of this season was that the nerder style or nerd
yeah, nerd.
whatever
Yeah.
is rising. Like there's some trend there. I don't know. I felt called out. I know nerdy maybe doesn't have such a negative association in Korea.
It's not
No, but I mean like
neutral to good almost.
see that still it doesn't register for me.
Yeah.
Because in a previous episode you would have said like I brought up the case of like, why don't all like the Jinta, like outcast type people band together? And you were like, well, they don't want to be associated with as Jinta, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's the exact same reaction. It's like, oh, if the season theme is nerd style, why would anyone want to be selected for that?
Oh, that was the season theme? I didn't know.
Yeah, I think they called that out at the beginning, and I
I
was just
see.
like, oh, it's like, I feel triggered.
But they
in a
definitely
sense.
are all nerds.
No,
now that I think
okay,
about
I want to
it.
get through it. I don't. To me, they weren't.
Really? Not even that.
No, you said they weren't. They were all nerds. I definitely don't think they were all nerds.
Who were like
Okay,
the judo guy wasn't, but
Yeah, how can a world class Olympic athlete
yeah.
be a nerd style? I mean, that's just
But okay,
doesn't make
except
sense.
for him.
Guangsu was nerdy.
Kwangsu?
Yeah.
He definitely was.
He was awkward, but I wouldn't have called him nerdy. He was like very social, like super good with words. Like he was almost like a player type. I don't know.
I think that definition of how we define nerd is kind of different.
That's what I mean. Yeah. None
And
of
in
the-
American terms, I think you would only associate two people.
The first two. Yeah, in American terms, only Youngsu and wait, what's the second?
Well, I
guy?
thought it was Youngho and Youngshik would be
Oh, the old guy, like kind of overweight. That guy. He was
that. No,
nerdy.
no, that not that guy, but in American terms, that
Mm.
the guy who used like those weird color changing
He was
glasses.
the nerdiest for sure.
And
That was
then-
Young Ho.
That was Youngho.
Yeah, I think.
And then
right?
Youngshik, who's like the star of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Both those guys would be
Very nerdy.
nerds.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah.
I thought the first three were nerds, to be honest, including the
the
little
overweight guy?
overweight, that small.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah.
But the last three, as they were introducing them, I was like, they were like not nerdy at all.
They're,
And so,
yeah, in American terms, I would agree.
But
Yeah.
in Korean terms, you'd think they're all nerdy, kind of like super into their hobbies or eccentric or.
I wouldn't think that Sangchul,
Oh, the last one, yeah, 6.
yeah, or
The big animal vet.
yeah.
You didn't. He was not nerdy.
He's not nerdy, nor
he was cool.
nor would I think the judo guy was nerdy.
Yeah, but
but
the
I
other
would
four,
think I would
Kwangsu.
think Kwangsu would be classified a bit as a nerd in Korea.
Okay, maybe you could elaborate on that because yeah, I didn't think he was nerdy at all. He was little. He was slightly awkward. But you wouldn't call him nerdy. No.
I think when you say nerd
Mm.
in Korea, it's also associated with like 모범생. Do you know what 모범생 is? Like
No.
like straight A child kind of.
Ah.
Straight A student.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing could also be a little bit associated with nerdy. And in that sense, he kind of is.
What, just like Boy Scout, poster child, just
But
like does everything right.
But even in American terms, hear me out. I think that he gives me vibes that he was a nerd throughout his life.
Late bloomer.
Yeah.
Mhm. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But he's a late bloomer. He's not a nerd anymore.
But he does. I can get hints of him being like kind of awkward.
He is awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. Anyway, so first thing I was like,
I
yeah,
hated that guy.
yeah, we should get into that. I don't. He was not my least favorite by far. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can
Oh.
just do that before you get in. But my favorite, I guess, who's your favorite guy first on the show?
My favorite guy.
Sorry, who did you like or was rooting for, could like empathize with?
I thought that app developer guy.
Uh huh.
I thought he was actually a pretty genuine, like nice guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I liked him.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's too nerdy.
he is very nerdy.
Such a nerd.
It was so unfortunate to me, being completely transparent.
Yeah.
It's just like from the beginning, I knew
No
that he
hope.
has he has no hope.
Yeah, I felt that
He
way
has
too.
no chance.
But June, this is where
Yeah.
in my mind, all 6 were going to be really nerdy,
Yeah.
and you had to pick someone at the end. So I was like, oh, who's
Ah,
gonna like, someone has to get picked.
yeah.
But anyway, no, my favorite was by far Sangchul. He
상철?
gave off Gyopo vibes to me. He's like smiling, happy,
Oh,
like kind
interesting.
of direct. I liked him. Yeah,
I think he was okay.
yeah.
The part that I didn't like about it
Mm.
is that he tried to play it too
Oh
cool
yeah,
when it
yeah, yeah,
looked
yeah,
like he really isn't
yeah.
a cool person.
I agree.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
he
part
is
was
cool
kind of
though.
cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought he was a cool guy. I don't know why he had to try to be cooler than he was. He was just a cool guy.
I thought so too, but
Yeah.
then it was kind of like awkward.
I was disappointed when he went for Oksun later too. Yeah. That was quite disappointing to me.
Yeah,
Okay, how about girl? Did you have a favorite girl?
my favorite was the yaksa, the pharmacist, who didn't who didn't have any chance. Like she never got picked. She never
Oh
got
yeah, yeah,
chosen
yeah,
by
yeah,
anyone.
yeah. She was the most forgettable, but
Yeah.
the most like normal, just like
She was the most
relatable.
normal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's what happens. This is the thing about Neun Solo.
Yeah.
Like if you're the normal
Yeah,
person,
you
you
never
get
get picked.
edited out and like you don't have any part in the show, which is
Which
kind of
June, I think
sad.
is reinforcing my point that this is it's a bit contrived. Yeah, and it's for
Uh,
entertainment value.
it
Yeah.
is, it is. Yeah.
But anyway, my favorite was originally maybe I also liked that character.
Which one? The guy?
No, that the pharmacist. What was her name?
I think she was Hyunsuk.
Okay, let's do this. Wait, Hyunsuk. Yeah, okay. Literally, my notes for Girl Six, Hyunsuk
Yeah.
feels most natural.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't trying to play a type
Mm,
or be crazy,
yeah.
outgoing.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, we're kind of aligned,
Yeah.
at least on the girl. Okay. Let me go through now my character by character notes.
Hmm.
Okay. Pre character introduction. The PPL for the Maxim drinks was like so obvious. I've never seen it that
Mm,
obvious.
yeah.
Anyway, the guy on the left, he's very famous now, right?
Who's the guy on the
Shit, I
left?
don't know. One of the three hosts, the
Oh,
co-host.
yeah, they're all famous.
Oh, I only recognize the guy on the left. The middle guy's famous.
I think it's because he has a lot of appearance in K dramas.
Yeah.
The one in the middle he's very famous. He's actually
Oh.
I think he's a rapper,
Oh.
but he's more famous for just being like a host for shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like semi-comedian. He's actually not a comedian, but he's
Okay.
very funny.
Yeah.
The girl on the right,
Yeah.
she's a model, but I don't think she's famous for her career as a model,
Uh-huh.
but more as like that kind of just like
Personality. TV
personality.
personality
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
host. Would you say the host, the guy in the middle, heavily leans towards talking to the guy rather than the girl?
Oh, I
That was
never
my
recognized
observation.
that.
I felt really bad for her because I was like, oh, why is she like? It's just to me, it felt too imbalanced. Like he's always
Oh,
leaning towards the guy, like talking to the guy.
really?
At least that's my impression.
Maybe for this season.
But that's
Uh,
not something you noticed, or I don't know if it's true, but
not
something I
really.
observed. Okay.
I always think that they're like very good balanced.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I
And
don't know if it
the
was my
middle guy is
bias.
so funny. He does like a lot of the heavy lifting of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
making this entertaining.
He does 80% of the talking,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
for the hosts. In general, I just have to say before you go further,
Hmm.
I'm not a huge reality TV guy.
Hmm.
I loved Survivor, the early seasons especially.
Hmm.
I watched The Bachelor in the early seasons, or
Hmm.
Bachelorette, I forget which one came first.
Those are like the shows that
OGs.
almost like define
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
reality shows
Because
are.
they were
Yeah.
so like it was a cultural phenomenon
Yeah.
in the US.
Mm.
But I'm not one of those like blatant, the perception for people who consume these kind of reality shows in the US is like trashy, like just
Oh, really?
yeah, just
In Korea too.
the perception is like you're always kind of embarrassed you like these, but
Yeah.
it's like your guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, June.
Mm.
But you said it's the same in Korea too.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But I'm not embarrassed to say it.
Uh,
But Naun Solo is so popular that
yeah, yeah.
I'm not
There's
embarrassed.
safety in numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now let's get into the full character by character things.
Okay.
This is where they asked this guy in the pre-interview what style of girl you like, and he said he likes cat-like. What the heck
yeah.
does cat-like mean for a girl style?
It's a specific type of facial character.
It's a facial characteristic.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not personality.
It's not personality.
Okay, okay.
고양이상.
Yeah,
It's like a cat type face.
what's
Like
that mean?
강아지상 dog type face.
You can describe a girl as a 강아지 puppy
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
What do those mean?
Ah, interesting. Because it's like it's like culturally, it's
Uh-huh.
something that everyone has a consensus on for Korean.
Okay.
I've never been asked this question.
I've never heard cat style face or dog puppy style face for.
I think
Yeah.
dog style faces are more like, or like puppy style faces are
Please
more
say
like,
puppy. Dog style face would be downright offensive. Yeah.
yeah, puppy style faces are more like innocent looking,
Okay.
kind
You
of
would
like
call that doe eyes in English.
maybe,
Okay. Just like
yeah,
innocent,
yeah,
big eyes.
kind of,
Okay.
yeah. And
Okay.
then the cat style face is more like more
Is it seductive or sexy?
more so than a puppy style face.
Okay.
But yeah, a bit seductive, but
Okay.
not like too sexy.
Because that would be like a fox face.
Also, you know,
No, I mean in English you would say that's a fox. Like she looks like foxy or
yeah,
kind
고양이상,
of sly. Yeah.
강아지상 are like the famous two types.
Those two are the famous. Okay. Are there other famous face types in Korea?
Yeah, but they're all very derogatory.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, like
Because it's negative.
there's like, do you know? This is like the funniest thing. There's a thing called 두부상,
Come on.
but it's
That
kind of
can't be
like
good.
no, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's like when your facial expressions are when your facial characteristics are more subdued.
Yeah.
You know, like dubu is like very harmless and like bland kind of,
Yes.
and like white.
How can this be good? Yes.
Kind of looks like the feeling that you get when you see or eat dubu.
Okay.
I can't even.
Is it like the most neutral statement ever? Like they're plain Jane, something like that?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's these are all purely about how you look, physical appearance
Okay,
wise.
okay. Plain Jane is too.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
like
it was a
they're just like
character.
average. They're not good looking.
But
not
it doesn't
bad
mean
looking.
average. It means like you look harmless, kind of softer,
Ah.
not strong characters, not like big eyes or big nose. It's like
Okay.
all kind of subdued,
Yeah.
but
But in
like
a good way.
but in a good way.
Okay. Anyway, if you ever call someone in the US, you have tofu face.
There's also 공룡상.
What's 공룡 mean?
Dinosaur.
Oh, no, don't tell me. This can't be positive.
It's
What, like very strong features?
it's
or-
neither positive nor negative. I think it's same for 두부상. It's just like
You said
your charac-
Dubusan was good.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I guess it's more neutral than I don't know.
I get it. Maybe there are things that like similar references in the US that you just, or in English, let's say,
Yeah.
that I just don't even register for me because
Yeah.
it's not like in a group and I'm not thinking about it. But I
It's
thought it was
more of
little
a
weird.
feeling thing.
Yeah. But you said it's strictly based on looks,
Yes,
not personality.
not personality.
Yeah, I think most of the associations might be more all encompassing. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Cat style, I got it.
So Oksun is a very typical cat style face.
Sorry, in this show or Oksun's in general?
Oh, in this show.
Oh, she's a cat style face.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I definitely don't get it yet, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe I need to see more examples.
Yeah.
Okay, second guy they introed, Young Ho. So the host was just ruthless laying into this guy.
Mm-hmm.
The initial comments was like, "Oh, I think I can smell him just from looking at him." I was like, "That is a sick burn." Oh my god! And then like, I agree.
I think what he meant is that because the host, he
Yeah.
associates himself as a nerd too.
Okay.
So he was like, I can sense like my own tribe kind of.
The translation was like, "Oh, I can smell him just by looking at him."
Oh, that I don't think that was
Okay.
it.
But yeah, agreed. The transitional color changing glasses
That
into
was-
shades.
yeah,
that
that-
is one of the most nerdiest
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Oh, I mean, they said okay, but this was the crazy
That-
part. He said he dated 7 people for over a year each. Like the nerdiest guy on the show. He's a
Mm.
player. He's not a nerd.
But I do see his charm though, right? As it progressed, like
Yeah.
the show, I did see why certain women could like him, or at least
Especially in Korea, maybe I would say.
or at least if you somehow get into a relationship, I would feel that it was very easy to get into a very stable one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's your typical, like, I don't know, backup. Like, yeah, I'm not married to Prince Charming by age 30. Like, I'll marry him.
Yeah.
He's stable.
Yeah.
He's nice, considerate. He cooks.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
He's so nerdy looking. But anyway, he dated 7 people for over a year, June. He's a player. He's
Yeah.
not a nerd. Come
Yeah.
on. Or maybe nerds just can date much more easily in Korea.
But who knows if he's telling the truth?
Come on.
Like that Youngshik guy, or we're gonna get into
We're
him,
getting
right?
into him.
Yeah.
So guy 3 was Young Shik.
Yeah.
He's kind of macho type, right?
Youngshik?
Yeah, he said he's from Busan. He brought that up a lot, right? Like, oh, I'm a man from Busan.
He always said he's a 시골 사람.
Yeah, 시골 사람.
But he didn't imply that he was a macho. He kept on like trying to say that he's a very innocent person.
But he's not. He was.
But
so
he's not. He
uninnocent.
wasn't, right?
I really didn't like this.
Yeah.
Guy. He was by far my least favorite. Slight country accent, right? He has a
Very
bit
heavy,
of-
very heavy
Oh, very heavy
경상도
accent.
accent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and this part, I thought this was really weird because I think either the girls commented or someone commented that he's kind of physically built.
Oh, the guy.
He's not at all.
He's not. I think his jacket made him look like it, or like he didn't have anything to say.
But he there seemed to be a consensus on the show that he works out. If I saw him, that would be the last thing I thought that he worked out.
I think his jacket for some
Okay,
reason
okay.
made him look like he had like broad shoulders or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird too. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
그냥
But-
진짜 할 말이 없었나 보다.
What's that mean?
Like he just really didn't
Kinda
have
boring.
anything to say.
All right. Guy 4, this was Young Chul.
Mm-hmm.
Who was he again? Oh, he's the professional judo. Like
Yeah.
he's on the Korean national team, Olympian,
Yeah.
worldwide ranking. He was the 15th worldwide ranked judo player in his
Yeah.
weight class at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
And then they said is like his, what's the term for how much weight your bench press
3대
squat
3대 500.
and deadlift is. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was over 600 kilograms for that.
Whoa.
He is a beast.
Yeah.
And I felt bad because we actually weigh the same amount, and he lifts like 200 kilograms more than me. But he is jacked.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like so confused because the first 3 were pretty nerdy. It's like this guy's a national athlete. He's a world class Olympian. Well, athlete. He's not nerdy. Anyway, his car had a bamboo seat cover.
And the
So-
specific type of car was
Yeah,
very interesting.
Very interesting
yeah.
too. Yeah. So he's definitely a unique. I can see why he's kind of seen as nerdy.
Yeah.
But I don't. If you're like this kind of athlete and like physical specimen, you
Mm-hmm.
can't be nerdy. Yeah.
I think that's a very American thing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like
So
if
much-
you're really into sports, right, you can never be nerdy.
Yeah.
You're like that like sports guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in Korea, I think you could be, you can be like good at sports, but also nerdy.
Yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
I think some of my premise was, and okay, I kind of do want to run through all the characters before I get into this,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of was thinking like, how can anyone else compete with this guy on the show? Like maybe it's not like the most attractive looking, but dude's a crazy. He's like an athlete. Like hands down, he would be the most popular, I think, contestant
Interesting.
in America. Is that not your impression when you see like, oh my god, a professional world class athlete?
Not at all. Not
So
at all.
different, yeah.
Yeah. I would almost argue that he's at a disadvantage because he's a
Not gonna be
athlete.
rich?
Yeah, he doesn't. And that's why this is so interesting about the show is like on the first day they don't reveal their jobs and
Anything, yes,
anything.
yes,
And
yeah.
like there's this grand day where they reveal who they are.
Yeah.
And like the dynamics all
Everything
change. Like
changes
that
after
nerdy
that.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
like-
he's rich.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's like he's a doctor or something. Right?
shoots up the ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you don't want to be too obviously
Yeah.
like looking like a gold digger or something, and that kind of like psychology thing is so
It's a
interesting.
fun dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think maybe like in like college or high school that guy might be very popular,
Yeah.
but not in real life, I would think.
That's crazy. I mean,
Interesting.
if I ever met an Olympian in the U.S., like not in a romantic way,
Yeah.
but I would be like nerding out like crazy. Like, oh my god, can I get a photo, autograph? Like,
Yeah.
I think just in general, athletic ability or sports, or just like being a beast in the weight room, like
Yeah.
having 600 kilograms for your 3 main lifts. I don't know. It's just like it's very very positive.
But in a Korean mindset, I would say
Yeah.
that doesn't make a good husband. Because they're all here to find the husband, basically. Because
Yeah,
they're
I
like,
think this is different. I think, of course, like romance and attraction is important,
yeah.
but just like being physically fit and strong or like macho type
Mm.
in the US, it's like raises you so much.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he had something in the intro where he mentioned something about like how he thinks he's the least good looking. Yeah, I think he made a comment basically being very self-deprecating,
Mm.
which yeah, it's like there's like maybe a false humility that people will have in the US on these types of shows. But
That,
in general, the like self-deprecating nature of people in Korea, it was very obvious throughout the show. Like you're always trying to like
that's
in front
very,
of other people
it's a
talk
very
less about you
pretentious thing, though.
at the
It's
end
like a
of the
very
day.
pretentious mannerism thing.
Yeah.
But if, like, I feel like in Korean culture, you would never say that if you truly believe in that.
Oh, really?
Almost.
You don't want to call it out, but you know it's not true, but you're willing to say it.
Yeah.
I felt like this was authentic to me, Jun. I think Koreans in general, at least in front of other people, it's never okay to kind of like brag, right? It's always like putting yourself down. But then behind closed doors or the behind the scenes camera, you're like, oh no, I don't believe that, or they'll
Yeah.
speak more honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, very much a cultural thing, I think. Okay, I don't know if this is taking too long. The Guy 5 intro, Kwangsu, tall, smart. Okay, yeah, 190 centimeters. I know that's tall. It's like 6'3". But like they were like, oh, he's so tall. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's tall in Korea for sure.
Yeah.
Much taller than I am. What can I say? But that would not ever be seen as like excessively tall.
190 centimeters.
I never,
Yeah.
that doesn't register as like, oh, they're very tall. You have to be over 200 to be like, oh, they're very tall.
In Korea, if you're 190, it's like you have to be that guy who's known to be
Tall.
tall.
Yeah. Very different.
Yeah.
But overall, after the guys were introduced and talking to each other, I was like, oh, everyone's so humble and kind to each other. It's like, it's a good vibe, right?
Yeah.
I would say like, you would put up that front, but everyone would be very competitive. I never got that feeling. It's like,
That's the thing about Korean competition shows, right? They're never
yeah. We talked about this with Physical
they don't
100.
ever like cross the line,
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Being overly competitive, trying to win. I don't know. I wish they would do more, right? It would make for good TV.
Which Oksun did kind of
Yeah, she did.
in this show.
Yeah, she was very weird. Let's get to her.
Yeah.
Almost done. Guy 6 intro, Sangchul. He was the big animal vet. Again, not nerdy at all. 10-year relationship before breaking it off. I mean, dating 10 years without getting married is a very long time. Is that the feeling in Korea too?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was asking because one of my wife's cousins or something, they dated for like 14 years before getting married. I was wondering, is like very long dating common?
It's not very common. Like 10 years is not that common, but it's also not very uncommon either. But like breaking up after 10 years, it's gonna be it's probably
Yeah. Pretty
Very-
devastating
yeah.
for both parties. Okay. Let's get into, is this good, by the way? Should we just keep going through my notes or?
it's so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, on to the girls.
I love it.
Girl intro number 1 was Young Suk. Okay, what? Okay, again, she described her ideal man as like Buddhist saint style man. What the heck does that mean? That was the English translation, at least.
Buddhist saint. I don't know.
Like very at peace or like confident. Like what is it?
Maybe. I have to know what the
okay,
Korean
okay,
said.
okay.
Yeah.
This is where I noted too. They always asked all the guy contestants their dating history, but they never asked the women contestants their dating history.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't notice that. That's a good observation.
I think it's a bit more right. There's some stigma maybe attached with having a big dating history as a woman in Korea. But
That
for
could
men,
be.
is it a good thing in Korea if you've dated a lot as a man, or is it neutral? Is it negative?
I think it's neutral.
Okay. But
But-
for women, it's definitely a negative.
Yeah, neutral to negative, I would say.
Yeah. And then this is where it was so obvious, the hand over mouth at every single chance. It was distracting. Yeah.
Oh, the women.
Like,
yeah.
Like every laugh, every like talk, it's so distracting.
I
It's
wanna
excessive.
I wanna get into this kind of.
Yeah.
I really don't understand
Yeah.
why Korean women do that. Why do you think that is?
I mean,
Did we talk about this? In
We
some other-
we have mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I think it's just seen as unattractive to have like a big toothy gummy smile maybe or laugh. Or is it seen as uncouth to like just have a really loud over the top laugh?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but my feeling it's more of the former.
It's in general, it's a very like ladylike thing to do, like ho 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 ho, like put your hand of like a light laugh.
Yeah.
So I think it's feminine maybe too.
Yeah, there's certain people. I mean, majority of Korean women they cover their mouths when they are laughing, but there's certain people that are very extremely like that, like
About it, yeah.
covers every time they maybe like their teeth aren't straight. I don't know.
But it was
I just don't get
distracting.
it. Like
Yeah.
even though I grew up here, I one of the things that I really don't understand and don't like about women's behaviors.
I think it's just a mannerism that makes it anything less awkward. Like, what do
Yeah.
you do with your hands in general? It's awkward. Like, you're crossing your hands.
Yeah.
You're putting them in your pockets. You're doing the thinking man pose, right? So I think in general, doing something with your hands, you need to do something. So
Yeah.
maybe just put it up to be less awkward. But I agree with your previous
I know
takes.
that we have a disproportionate number of women listeners for our podcast.
It's pretty
So
50-50.
is it?
I think so.
Okay. Anyways, women listeners, please,
us know.
yeah, let us know. It's like one of the biggest mysteries for me. Like, why do you
It
do
is
that?
so obvious. I mean,
Yeah.
it's every time the
Yeah.
hand's going over the mouth. Okay. Yeah, but I really don't even remember what she looked like. Who was Young-suk?
Oh, I don't remember either.
Okay. Girl intro number 2 was Jung-suk. Again, hand over the mouth to laugh. The thing I noted with her was she saved 70% of her take-home pay. That's high, right, in Korea? Would that be considered high?
Yeah, she's a
Okay.
saver.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I did wonder if it was higher in general in Korea because either you're not paying rent, right? Either you live at home or you took out a jeonse loan and like you're basically getting that back. So, rent must be like 50% of most people's take-home pay in the US. So to be able to save 70%, I was just like, that's crazy.
It depends but it also depends on what she makes. Because like the amount that you spend per month isn't always proportionate to how much you make.
Sure.
So if your salary is high, it might be relatively easier. But if it was like maybe if she earned like 300만 원 and then she saved 210만 원, that was very impressive then. Yeah.
Those numbers mean nothing to me, but what I would say is this is only possible if you live at home or don't pay rent.
That's true. Exactly.
I'm very frugal, and I think when I first started working, I was very proudly saving about 40 to 50%. And I was very proud of that. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, she's frugal. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Girl 3 intro, Sunja. Oh, she was very prominently featured.
Sunja.
Sunja.
The
I wrote it.
vegan, right?
Sunja, the vegan.
Yeah.
So I wrote, are all the girls' voices fake?
Yeah. That went viral.
Oh,
her
her too?
laugh.
Her laugh. But honestly, all 3 of them, I feel like when they talk, I don't know if this is racist or not. They almost sound like a exaggerated anime voice. Like it's like either trying to be too feminine,
Yeah.
or too cutesy, or too whatever, too animated, right?
Yeah. I
The
see what
first
you
3,
mean.
all of them, I was like, they can't talk like that in real life, do they? But maybe they do.
Maybe they do.
Do you know who Elizabeth Holmes is?
No.
Theranos?
I don't know.
Okay, well, she's like a convicted felon now or something, but she was the CEO of Theranos, which was like a crazy pharmaceutical, like their whole thing was like one trick. There was a documentary about it.
Yeah, I know.
She was very famous for having the super deep voice.
Yeah, that was all fake.
It was
too.
fake.
Yeah.
So that was the first person I thought about. I was like, all these girls are putting on fake voices, or maybe they faked it their whole life. It's now real.
Paris Hilton too. She has a different voice now.
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy? I saw that. That went
Yeah.
viral too. But sorry, do you think that all the girls have fake voices and it's become their real voice over time?
I think for Korean women, they have different voices depending on the situation.
Persona or the situation.
Like, have you heard women change their voice tones when they're on the phone?
I've not heard that, but
Some
I believe it.
some
It goes
women
higher.
do that. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. You want to be more. See, okay, that makes sense to me because, again, so much of communication is nonverbal. So you have to be almost more exaggerated with your tone over a voice to communicate effectively. That one I can get. I can buy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just like, oh my God, they all seem to have fake voices.
Or there, I think there's also a certain image that you want to present as a persona that is like very somewhat related to femininity in Korea.
Yeah.
And I think that persona is what they're trying to present, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that Sunja's laughter,
Oh, that one.
that went viral.
It was a little
So
weird,
pretentious
yeah.
and like soulless
It
almost.
seemed fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not one to judge. I think I like it when people have unique laughs, to be honest. Yeah. To me, the laugh was the least inauthentic. Sorry, of the voices.
Yeah.
The laugh didn't bother me at all.
I
Yeah.
see.
But you were saying the Korean reception was like, oh, it's like pretentious or too fake,
Like soulless.
soulless.
Yeah. It's like ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
ha,
She
ha,
did
ha.
laugh too much.
Yeah.
It was getting awkward too
Yeah.
again. And then when she said she's a vegan in the pre-interview, I was like, game over.
Yeah.
It's okay. We should get into it later because
Mm-hmm.
like, let me ask this: would your average Korean know the difference between vegan, vegetarian, and pescatarian?
No.
No, because
No.
she was pescatarian. We found out later in the self-introduction she's not actually vegan.
Is that the one that eats fish?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But and vegan
Koreans-
versus vegetarian is a huge difference too, right? Yeah.
I've never heard someone pronounce vegan like that.
Oh, vegan.
Oh,
You
interesting.
might be right. Vegan. I think both
I
would
always,
be acceptable.
yeah, I always thought it was pronounced vegan.
Vegan. You might be right.
I don't know.
But in
You might-
general, we should have a little. Well, first of all, do you agree? Like, being vegan in Korea is like a death curse from a dating perspective.
Yes.
It's very hard to overcome.
Especially when she was trying to date the judo
Oh.
guy. It's like that's never gonna make sense.
You know, it's interesting because I do think Korea is a surprisingly maybe easy country to be vegetarian. All the banchans, bibimbap, like whatever. Vegan's very hard because
Yeah.
I don't think they differentiate.
They don't
from,
have
like,
vegan options.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
animal byproducts, etc.
Yeah.
But vegetarian, I think could actually be quite friendly.
Wait,
And-
what's the difference between vegetarian and vegan? Vegan, by the way, is it like vegetarians more like I tend to eat?
No. I should do research. In my mind, my understanding. This is so bad. I'm not the most politically correct or culturally sensitive person in general, but my understanding is vegans will not eat animal byproducts, so no milk, no eggs, nothing that came from
I see.
animals. Whereas vegetarians will eat. They're fine with that. They just don't eat meat. And then pescatarians will eat fish. But yeah, I wanted to do an aside here though, because in the U.S., I think it's in the one hand, it's like great that there's so much customization and let's say people respecting people's dietary choices, etc. But it's pretty extreme, I would say, in the U.S. Right,
Yeah.
between like gluten-free
Yeah.
versus like this allergy versus that allergy, or it's not even like an allergy, it's a sensitivity now.
Yeah.
And again, it's good in that sense, but also it's crazy to manage. Like if you're trying to host something and you're like, you have to ask for everyone's like allergies and dietary restrictions, and it's like, well, I'm like keto, I'm pescatarian, I'm gluten, blah blah blah. It's
And all the
so-
religious restrictions too,
all
right?
of those
Yeah.
too, no pork, no
Yeah.
meat, whatever. It's just like very hard to manage.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like I don't know what your thought is on this overall culture of being like super sensitive to everyone's preferences, but yeah, it's like Korea seems to be at the place where like even being pescatarian, it's like, wait, I've never heard of that. That's crazy. I can't date you.
I do think that America is pretty extreme and gotten more extreme over the recent years. It's a trade-off, right? Like it is a highly individualistic society where like you can flourish as much as you want as yourself.
Yeah.
But the trade-off are certain things like this. Or like maybe your individualistic characters are too strong for you to blend in as a group. I almost sometimes can't imagine how like businesses run.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with it, because it's if you don't have those options, you're going to exclude such a large percentage of the population.
But then also, in Korean society, it's like very harmonic and like you don't really take into consideration to begin with, people don't have that strong of a character.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a chicken or egg kind of situation. But So in that sense, it's kind of easier to manage things as a group. But the trade-off again is that like if you have a very specific character, it's a lot of the times just gets neglected
Yeah, yeah.
in a very violent way sometimes.
Ah, in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, my oldest son he has a nut allergy. So it's something I'm, mindful of. And again, I really, really appreciate
Yeah.
the lengths that people in America have to go through in a sense.
Yeah.
Thankfully, our son is not, it's not like, some people are deathly allergic
Yeah.
to nuts.
Yeah.
Our son definitely has gone to the ER multiple times, but, trace things he can kind of deal with. And he's so good about it. And it's one of the things I'm most proud of. He really manages allergies well. But I would just imagine maybe if you weren't in an American international school, it might be a lot more dangerous or harder.
Yeah.
Because I think in general, the Korean population is just not as aware of these things, right? So, okay. Aside done. Girl 4, this is very long. Youngja. She had the Busan accent.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this one. She was she the one who at her, what is it, Chaki Soge? No. Is that what it's called? Self-introduction?
Yeah.
She said, like, I would have been the perfect wife, like, 100 years ago or something.
Oh, she said that?
Was
I don't
that
know.
her?
I didn't rewatch it.
Was she the... Anyway, she had that very heavy Busan accent.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it, Busan accent?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. But then she got advice. I thought it was hilarious. She got advice from her friends: don't laugh too loudly because you're a loud person. She was probably my second favorite of the girls.
Really?
'Cause she's just, I thought she was so interesting. Yeah.
Ah.
I believe she was the one who was she runs the play daycare, sensory
Yes.
play thing for
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
Yes. I thought she was okay up until the moment where I thought that she was kind of playing with that
Oh, yeah,
Young
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
That made me not really like her that much.
But see, I thought she actually could have gone for him. Yeah.
I thought there was no chance.
Yeah. Well, then in that case, I didn't like it. But yeah. Anyway, no other comments at this point. I think I was just like, it's getting a little repetitive. Okay, but girl 5, we have to talk. She is the star of the entire season, Oksun. I'm not pretending. I have to be honest. Maybe she was the most physically attractive of the 6, but
She wasn't that.
if so, not by much.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so you agree with me?
Yeah,
Okay.
she wouldn't be the person that would, like, if I saw her in the street, like,
Yeah.
I would turn back. I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah.
She's, like, good looking.
Wait, do Koreans even do that? Like double take?
Yeah, of course.
But I haven't seen it. I think Koreans are very subtle with their, checking someone out.
Depends on the context, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. I don't think I've ever seen it before me, which, in America is just like constantly happening and you're doing it without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But okay, so you agree with me. She's not like stunningly beautiful.
She's not.
Okay. Definitely above average.
She has skills, I think. Yeah.
Like, they kept saying like flirting skills,
Yeah.
seduction skills, whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, so anyway, I wanted to have a long discussion about beauty standards,
Yeah.
but you agree with me in this case.
I do.
So you think they were overhyping her overall?
Who the
The
guys?
hosts, the hosts and the guys, the guy contestants.
Yeah. The guy contestants were, I think, just they fell into her skills.
Okay. Which we should get into that too later on.
And I think there is also a stigma towards that name Oksun in the
Okay,
show,
okay.
and she's Oksun.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I see. Oh, she was very aggressive, right? She's just like queen bee in a
yeah.
sense. Like, I'm the best, I'm the prettiest.
But she was almost doing too much in an overt.
In the beginning, yeah.
So I thought maybe like this is some kind what kind of character is she trying to play?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
She's
felt
set
that way
up as
too.
a character. Who does that
Yeah.
even in real life?
Exactly.
Kind of? Yeah.
It was to me, it was like kind of fake. Like,
Yeah.
no one actually would behave that way.
Yeah.
Unless they were playing a character. Yeah. Okay, and then Hyunsuk we already mentioned, feels most natural but very forgettable.
Yeah.
But okay, my comment after seeing all the girls intro was like, all the girls are way more attractive than the guys, which I think played into the nerd thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's this way on all seasons. Yeah.
No, it's not a.
Okay.
But I think because this is a nerd thing, I think the production staff they played it out that way. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I said, oh, okay. So one of the very first stipulations was they asked, based on just initial impressions, they asked all the guys to pick one girl they would like a photo with and pick another girl they want to take the photo of them, right? Which is kind of a slap in the face, right? But then the stipulation was they had their second favorite girl or most attracted girl, whatever they were attracted to, was the one they had to ask to take the photo, right? That was when I first like questioned you're like, oh, this is so authentic and natural.
Yeah.
Because that's completely like setting up drama, right? But then I realized very quickly after, like all the contestants know that's what happens on the show.
Yeah.
Because they were very openly conversing. It's like, oh, I have to take the photos. Does that mean I'm last place? Does that mean I'm first? Does that mean I'm second?
Well, there's not like a game that they play every season, so they come up with new things. So they don't know
But
exactly what it is.
they know the production crew gives them these kinds of rules or stipulations. Right?
Kind of, yeah.
So it's like, at first I was a little
It's-
disappointed, but then I was like, oh, it's kind of cool that they know there's like a strategic element to it in a sense. Yeah.
So I think it's authentic in a way that they're just normal people.
That's true. Yeah.
but even the games that they set up, the production crew, it's very loosely defined.
I
Almost.
see. Yeah. But no, I said it was still fun, but it did make it feel a little bit more scripted and artificial. Yeah. My next note was Jung-suk. Who was Jung-suk? She was the hand over her mouth. I literally can't picture what she looked like. You too?
I don't know who Jung-suk is.
She was the second girl they introduced, but I made a note. She was very popular, which I was surprised by.
Oh.
But I did make a note, like she feels the type that nerds would be attracted to in a sense because we're on the same level. If that makes sense.
Did she look like a nerd? Wait, who's Jung-suk?
She looked very
I have to search.
more plain, maybe I would say, just like
Jung-suk. Oh, this one.
yeah, okay, her. She was one of the big players in the show too.
She's not that
So besides
bad looking.
besides Oksun, it was her and the vegan Sunja. Those three were the most prominently featured, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't. Again, she's not bad looking at all, right? I guess I was surprised. Like she didn't seem to stand out to me. Yeah. Anyway, well, I made a fun observation. So after I realized the premise of the show, I was gonna ask you, is this what meetings are like in Korea?
Ah.
Because it's like 6-on-6.
Yeah, that's
right, and you're like competing with the other guys for the girls. Is that the vibe of a meeting group? I know meetings are different because usually come with people you know, right? So maybe it's a little different, but
and it does happen just like one night, so it's kind of different. But that overall dynamic and like the quote unquote tension, is pretty much the same.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's kind of different in that meetings mostly only happen during college.
Okay,
so it's like the difference is that is the premise I want to date this person versus in this show it's mostly like almost about marriage kind of. Yeah, so that's kind of different, but yeah, similar vibes.
I think my observation is Koreans love the lineups where you're like all together. Like your classic. Have you ever had to do a Korean interview where you're with your fellow interviewees and you're all being interviewed as a group? You know that very classic lineup in K-dramas?
Yeah,
You've never done that.
But that's like for like large conglomerates.
I don't know what it's for, but that's like the most classic interview scene.
Yeah.
Where I would be. I don't know if that happens in U.S. companies. It seems so weird.
Yeah, it feels like maybe.
But it's very natural in Korea, right?
Yeah, it is natural. I've never went through that. It might be. I don't know why. It might be a Japanese thing. I don't know. Yeah, I can see that happening in Japanese companies.
It makes it seem whenever this happens, whether it's in the context of a meeting or the dating show or an interview, it's just so blatant with the competition, and it's a really bad, stressful feeling, right? Like you're literally next to your peers you're competing with for the girl or for the job.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just seems so accepted and natural in Korean society. It's pretty brutal, man. Yeah. Okay, and then I made a note about the names being confusing. Okay, this is another thing you mentioned, Jun. In episode 2, I made the note, Ayu Mekju.
Ayu Mekju.
Which you mentioned on the show. And that was another one of the like 10 things. I was like, oh, Jun's talked about that. Does he get all his cultural references from the show? But that's a pretty broadly known thing, Ayu Mekju. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just when it's very foamy.
Explain to our listeners.
I don't actually know. I think it's when it's very foamy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You know why it's called Ayumekchu?
You said in one drama, My Mister.
Yeah.
Was that it? She
Yeah.
poured it and it was like very foamy.
It was
Like
so
awkwardly.
it was so awkward. Like I was like, why didn't they
I
take
didn't
another
know.
shoe? Yeah. It's like literally 80% foam.
Okay, so when someone pours poorly and it's a lot of foam,
Yeah, it's
or
Ayu.
they call it head in the US,
Yeah.
it's ayumekchu.
Yeah.
Okay, I made a note. Dang, insecurities are showing strong already. Oh, okay, this was the Sunja, I think.
Mhm.
She made the comment, I'm used to people using me to get to others, like I'm always second place. Is this already happening to me? And then she covered her laugh. But really, it felt like she was covering her tears. This was when she didn't get a hot pack. I was like, dang, that is like very brutal and honest.
But I think she was trying to like play into that kind of like vulnerable
Yes. Yeah.
to type to
Yeah.
make her seem more attractive,
Attractive.
I
Yes,
think. Yeah.
yeah. That, yeah, I don't think there's
Look,
anything
I'm that
different.
like poor girl.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm always second.
Or she was trying to make it less awkward that she didn't get picked. Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
It was like, oh, it's like I'm used to this.
But I definitely felt like she knew what she was doing
Yeah.
and very strategic in a way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have to get to the Oksun stuff. Because they kept saying, and you just said it yourself, she has skills.
Yeah.
Maybe it was with the translation.
Uh,
Maybe I don't understand like Korean dating mannerisms or whatever.
mhm.
But to me, it was not natural at all.
It
was
wasn't.
super obvious.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, in that sense, not skilled. Because
Mm.
you're not like casually doing it,
Mm.
right? Whether it's like a shoulder touch or like her flirting words were just so like straightforward and blatant. I don't know. It felt like kind of dumb.
Mm. But because
but
they're
everyone
all,
kept describing us like, oh, so she's so skilled. Oh, she's so talented. Like,
I think they're saying that she's skilled because she succeeded.
no, but this was at the very beginning. Like,
Oh, was it?
You know, spoiler alert. By the end, like five and almost all six guys were like very aggressively pursuing one girl.
Mm.
But you know, this was very early on. I couldn't reconcile that. Whereas like,
I think maybe in a way that she was the only contestant that was using any skill.
at all, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Are most seasons in general? Do the girls try to aggressively flirt or pursue guys, or is it like this, where it's like they're all kind of subdued and play
Most-
a little coy?
Mostly like that.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
not-
more up to the guys to be more aggressive. Or,
Yeah. I think that would be a big difference. Yeah. In the U.S., the girls would be very aggressive and very obvious.
Yeah. I think there's like, again, there's this a vision or a stereotype of what is feminine
Yeah.
in Korea, which is like more, I guess, more, what do you call it? Well, anyways,
Your
yeah.
your English quota.
Yeah, my English quota.
Okay, but did you feel like she was like, oh, she has skill, or it's just like relative to the other contestants, she was being more skillful? I thought her flirting was way too obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the F is she
Yeah,
trying to do? Like,
exactly.
what kind of character is she trying to portray here?
And then she's like flirting with everyone
Yeah.
and almost making them competing, which worked in the end. But
I almost felt like she was testing herself to
maybe.
see, like, I want to see if I can make everyone like me, which she was like not even, she didn't hide that.
Yeah.
Cause like in that scene where like five guys chose her
Oh,
to
it was so
date, and she was
awkward.
like, "Where's the other one?"
Yeah, sure. Yeah, she was almost like she didn't care about the five who picked her. She
Yeah,
was
she's
almost
like-
disappointed the sixth.
Yeah, how
didn't.
dare did this guy? Who is he to not choose me? Or kind of, yeah.
Okay, another like vocabulary question. It was like I made the note thin versus glamour style. Like those apparently are opposed. What is glamour style? Does it mean like having a figure or like being
If you're
having
more
curves?
curvy, yeah,
Oh, so glamour style means like having curves?
yeah.
Okay, I would never have understood that. Okay.
Specifically towards the chest area.
Okay, so being like
Yeah,
busty,
busty,
yeah.
yeah.
I guess I could infer that because they kept saying it like, are you thin or are you glamour style, or do you like one or the other?
What's glamorous? What's glamour?
Glamorous
in-
just means like I don't know, like you're very fashionable. you can wear nice outfits and pull them off.
Yeah.
It's just like it means like you're, I don't know, almost high class and fashionable.
It's one of those
Yeah.
English words that are imported
Yeah.
and
became a very specific thing.
yeah.
Okay. So it literally just means you're like full, like you're busty.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. All right.
You know a funny word?
Wait, sorry, but thin, does thin versus glamour style, does thin then mean like not busty, or does thin mean just thin in general?
Not busty.
So different, right? Like, because I guess I was like, isn't everyone thin in Korea?
Yeah.
But that specifically was referring to that.
I think so.
Okay.
If you say thin,
Because to be clear, in the U.S., thin and skinny are just like synonyms. They mean the exact same thing.
yeah, I think it
Not
means that
fat.
you're skinny.
Oh, okay.
But skinny women tend to
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so that's why.
But in context, when they're like, oh, do you like thin style versus glamour style? That's what it's referring to.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, very confused. It didn't make sense.
So in terms of glamour,
Yeah.
like the glamour style,
Yeah.
do you know what a bagel is?
Referring to like a woman's figure?
Yeah.
I mean, I can infer like very rotund. No?
Bagel is you have to pronounce it in Korean. It's bagel.
Okay.
It means that when they have a baby face
Uh-huh.
and
Bay-
busty, because it's bae for baby,
Uh-huh.
and then
What's
글
글?
for glamour.
Oh, good for glamour.
Yeah.
That is the most random reference
Yeah.
ever. Okay. But yeah, now I know. Let's see. I said, okay, I don't even know who I was referring to by nerdiest guy here. I think it was
영어?
Young Ho.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nice guy.
Yeah.
Like, so awkward. Yeah, anyway.
I don't think it was awkward.
Really?
I think he was
Genuine?
almost one of the most natural ones.
I just can't get over maybe how nerdy he looks. I don't
He
know.
he looked very nerdy,
yeah, yeah.
but that's why I kind of liked him because he I think he was the most genuine, normal, natural acting kind of person.
Maybe I'm too into like the
looks?
The looks.
Yeah,
I
it
can't get
got-
past
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just such a nerd. But then he dated 7 girls for a year each. I don't know. He's like probably one of the most experienced dating people. But anyway, I said it's a skin. Okay, the skin moisturizing lipstick. I think they had PPL for this, but then it was all about containing caviar, which I don't know. That's just kind of crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, okay.
Oh, it was a caviar containing skin
Yeah,
moisturizer.
yeah. It was kind of awkward. Anyways, I know there's also, is it like salmon sperm? Is that it?
Salmon sperm?
Let me look it up. I think one of the like hottest beauty ingredients is like salmon sperm. Yes. Auto completes salmon sperm injection.
They inject it
It's known
into
as
where?
polynucleotide treatments. It's a type of skin treatment that uses DNA fragments from salmon to improve skin appearance, but it's literally marketed as salmon sperm injections.
Is it a Korean thing?
It's in Korea.
Oh, what do they do? What
I don't
does
know if
it
it's in
do
Korea,
to
but
your
it's
what
everywhere.
does it do to your skin?
I don't know. Stimulates production of new blood vessels, more collagen, and keratinocytes.
Interesting.
Neither of us are beauty experts, but you could ask your brother.
Mm.
Anyway, that's what my mind went to. I was like, caviar? Okay, but I know salmon sperm is like, I've seen headlines. Like, okay, it's not that weird. But
kind
it's
of-
kind of weird.
It is kind of gross.
In my mind, I'm just like, caviar is just a luxurious, expensive thing. So they
Oh,
can,
the
like,
caviar thing.
jack up the price of whatever this
Yeah.
thing is. But I think it's kind of weird.
It's kind of off topic, but I think this is like an internet thing recently about like how Americans feel towards the word moist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's trending in Korean internet.
I don't know if it's just my feed,
Yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
Americans associate the word moist with something kind of gross and dirty.
Yeah.
I never realized that.
I also, I do kind of get it.
Yeah,
It's just, honestly, it's the way the word sounds, like moist.
I don't get it.
I know.
Yeah.
I do kind of get it.
Yeah.
But I think it's overplayed for sure. Yeah.
Does it give you a feeling of like,
Ooh, like cringe. Yeah.
oh really?
Yeah. No. That's
Not
I think
like-
how it's portrayed.
It doesn't have anything to do with what the word means. It's like
It
a
does.
moldy,
Clammy,
kind of
yeah.
dampy kind of feeling.
It
Is
does,
that-
of course, have to do with that. But most people, I think, would also associate it with just like when you say the word, it kind of
Moist.
sounds that way. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, I do. When I first heard that was a thing, I kind of immediately did get it. But now I do think it's a bit overplayed. Yeah. Okay, I made the note. If you're 31 years old and you're a level 8 civil servant, isn't that really impressive? The way
No.
that you had described it before, I thought it was like, oh, that person's very impressive. But in the context of the show, I think they felt like they were like not impressive at all compared to the other contestants.
To be completely honest, it's not very impressive.
Oh, but is it seen as neutral or is it seen as like not good?
This might make me sound very
Judgmental,
snobby
yeah.
because especially because there were the Kwangsu guy,
Uh-huh.
he was level 5,
Uh-huh.
which is a lot higher than level
Oh,
8.
wait, level five's higher.
Yeah, it goes yeah. It starts from level 9.
I'm so good. That's what got me.
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying, I thought like 5 was kind of entry level. And then as you got to 10, that was like crazy.
Oh, it's the
impressive.
opposite.
Oh, okay.
I think
get it.
I think
Now I
the
get it.
president might be level 1
I
or
get
something
it.
like
Okay,
that.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, it was just inverted.
So
from
if
what
he's
I thought.
level 8, it
Yeah.
means that he started from level 9
Yeah.
and then he got one promotion and 9 is like the
So
lowest.
it's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, now it all makes sense. I think the equivalent
It's like his job is not impressive to say the least.
to begin with,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he's a low level in that job.
Yeah. And then there was like the same like government worker who was
So
like level 5. Yeah.
because I thought 10 was the best and 1 was the worst.
I can see why that's confusing.
In the US, I think the equivalent would be the GS pay scale. So
Mm-hmm.
all government employees are on the same pay scale. GS 15 is the highest.
Oh, so
and
it's the opposite.
Yeah, and 1 is the lowest,
I
right?
see.
And so it's like, oh, if you get to GS 15, it's like super stable, very high paying,
I see.
very good.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, anyway, okay, that clarifies it.
That I think that played into a factor of why he was like so self-conscious of himself. Yeah.
Almost had to overcompensate.
Yeah.
I noted all the guys are kind of similar. I don't know if it was by design, but like 2 vets, 2 civil servants, 3 people whose hobbies were singing. Are all Koreans the same, Jun?
That was interesting. I think especially that dynamic of like the level 8 and the level 5
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
And
clearly.
Sunja, I think, was also something who's like level 6 or something.
Oh, okay.
So there were
Yeah.
two people who were like a lot higher
Yeah,
than this
than
guy.
you.
And I think
A
they
lot higher.
intentionally did it like that. The vet thing was kind of interesting because
Yeah.
I never even knew that there was like a large animal vet.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that that's kind of like a higher level in like vet in the vet world.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting.
I
too.
found that out in my early 20s. One of my best friends, he was dating and is now married to a vet who was going to school at UC Davis, which I think is one of the better vet schools. But that's when we started talking about like your classes and it must be so fun. You're just
Yeah.
around pets all the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's like different specialties,
Yeah.
right? And some people are like big animal vets.
Yeah, that stick their arms
All
into-
the way
yeah.
up to big animals, orifices. Yeah. Okay, anyway. All right. On to episode 3, and I think my notes are going to thin out a lot now. Oh, yeah. Okay, they did again in the intro, one of the hosts, they did like an air trombone. Like instead of, in the US, you would call it a drum roll, please, like anticipation.
The host
What
did
is
that?
like, what is the Korean equivalent of a drum roll? Like building anticipation.
It's a drum roll.
Oh, they also do a drum roll?
I
They
have
were definitely doing like some sort of like air trombone thing. I thought it was so weird. Like, boop, 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 boop. I was like, what is that?
Oh no.
It doesn't immediately register to you?
Yeah, I have to watch it.
I was like, oh, okay. But Koreans also use the word drum roll for building anticipation.
They don't use the word drum roll.
But the sound mimicking a drum.
Yeah. They
Whatever. Now these were playing like air brass instrument of some sort.
I'll have to rewatch it.
Okay, this I made a note: vegan, pescatarian. Okay, they don't, because the whole time they were saying she's vegan, and then she comes out as pescatarian again. It's just a huge difference.
My question is, in America, do like pescatarian or like ovo or whatever, do they not live under the same umbrella of vegan?
No.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just another type.
Yeah, I mean, pescatarian is actually not vegetarian because you eat fish, right?
Oh, I thought they were all like vegan family.
No. The vegan's the most restrictive in the sense that, again, you don't even eat animal byproducts.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, okay. This is when I first realized they would be like 2 versus 1 dates. 이야일 or whatever, right?
2대1.
2대1.
Yeah,
So awkward.
it is
It
awkward.
is awkward, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. There's nothing like culturally that would make this less awkward.
Yeah.
So awkward. Okay, this is a kind of a longer thing. Let's see. I wrote like in relational societies like Korea, it really does feel to me like everyone's always playing a role. Or I wrote down specifically, it feels like everyone's just pretending to be the type of person that they think is desirable. And that,
인정.
okay.
Yeah.
But that's so yeah, that's I think a very different way of acting.
Yeah.
It's always they're always thinking about what will they think of me rather than like this is who I am, right? And of course again, Americans, especially on a dating show, they want to be attractive to people. But I just always get the feeling like they always are putting up this front, acting in a way that would make them more desirable, right? Maybe it's like just like you said, the women are always acting very feminine or very like shy or you know whatever, right? And so I think this is just like this stood out to me in the context of the show.
I feel like because again, Korea is a very relational based society. Like
Yeah.
like your role in a certain relationship defines who you are. So I think it's more about like how do I act appropriately in
Yeah.
this relationship or dynamic. And because this is a dating show
Yeah.
format, I think naturally like how do I act more desirable.
Yeah.
But I do agree that Korean people tend to, because they have a lot of different personas, I always think, and it's depending on what kind of relationship or like what kind of role you are, right? Like if you're the oldest in the group, you
You have to play
the-
into that
like the
stereotypical.
형 or 누나 kind of
I
thing.
see.
Yeah.
Does that get tiring for Koreans? I can't imagine doing this. But I think if you grow up in a society where you're always doing it, maybe it's
Yeah.
not tiring, it's natural.
It is tiring, but
Yeah.
not to the level that I imagine that you think.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
you're trained, you're used to it.
It's
It comes
almost
second nature.
Yeah, it's like to a Korean, it could almost feel like it's awkward. Like, how do I express my true self every time? Because like, what is our relationship, kind of, right?
I see,
Like
I
you
see.
you see a lot of Korean people not knowing how to act if we don't
Yeah.
create that relationship and define that kind of. So, I think that's
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like how small talk's not tiring for me because it's so natural. I've been doing it my whole life. I can just do it second nature. But Koreans who haven't practiced it their whole life,
Yeah.
it's very awkward, right?
Yeah. But there are certain like personas that feels more natural to you.
Like the older, younger.
Yeah. Like for instance, I am more natural in a 동생 kind of situation because I was
yeah.
always a 동생 in my family. Like if I'm in a group where I have to be the 형, I don't like really don't know how to do that, or like I just kind of dismiss it
Man,
almost.
yeah. Again, that's something that I've never, probably my whole life, thought about, right? Because let's say I'm maknae in my family. I am.
Yeah.
And people are always like, oh, you give off maknae energy, like youngest in the family vibes, whatever. But I've never once, I think, thought unnaturally, like, oh, I'm the maknae. I need to act like the maknae.
Yeah.
And it's just so different. Yeah. Okay, and I made a note of this later, but I'll bring it up now because it's related. I think all the stuff you've talked about, Jun, around persona, revealing who you are, is it safe, blah, blah, blah. I noticed that, and maybe this was an editing production trick too, but whenever they were highlighting conversations between people, all they were talking about was what they had already experienced together on the show. And they kept talking about like, oh, when I first met you, did you remember that thing we did? They're not at all talking about stuff outside the context of their relationship, right? And again, it might just be how they edit it. But if I'm on a random blind date with someone, right, I'm not gonna only talk exclusively about the one day we've had together,
Yeah.
right? It's like I'm gonna ask like, tell me about your family, tell me about your job,
Yeah.
right? And like I remember they highlighted one conversation where was it Sunja and Kwangsu, they had like a 4-hour long conversation, and it was like, oh, he gets me. We're like so deep, and I'm like, that's just a normal conversation. So I just think that stood out to me. I don't know if it did or didn't, or maybe I'm reading into it too much.
My understanding is that a lot of the conversations in the show tend to be like that. Like, I want to say just like playing within what happened within the show.
Yeah.
Pre 자기소개.
Ah, okay.
because you're not supposed to reveal anything about yourself before
Yeah.
that. So I think there's only a certain thing that you can talk about.
I see.
So before the 자기소개, it's the conversations are usually that way.
Yeah.
And after you do the 자기소개 and now you know who that person is, I
You
think
can talk more
conversations
freely
tend to
outside.
be more
This was in my episode 3 notes, so I don't know if this was pre or post jakisoge.
It could be somewhere a lot
Early.
Yeah.
But in that sense, it makes sense why, especially in the earliest episodes, all they were talking about was
Because
the
that's
1 or 2 hours.
Yeah,
they've
because
been
that's the
together.
only thing that they can talk
You're
about.
not allowed to ask questions outside of the show.
I think that's the
Before,
rule.
okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That resolves that. I think 2 of the girls kept saying how the judo guy dressed like a gyopo.
They
I don't
did?
know what that meant. Yeah, I was like, what's that mean? But I was like, I feel seen. I just had to
They
call
said
that
they
out.
dress like a
Yeah,
couple.
yeah. I was like gyopo 느낌 or gyopo style or something like that. What is gyopo style to you? Well, how
Less
should I-
fashionable. No,
which I like. I will gladly take that label.
No, I'm kind of joking. I think it's a hard to explain. It's hard to pinpoint, but I get what that means.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of more 자유로워, like free,
Natural, free. Yeah,
natural,
yeah.
free.
That
Yeah,
I agree with.
yeah.
Okay. He also he drank during dinner, and then maybe they just didn't show it, like calling a daddy. But I think he drove. It looked like he drove home. So here's my question: what is the rule? If I drink a beer at 6 p.m., rest of the night, can I not drive? How long do you have to wait?
There is a rule.
There is a rule.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like one beer.
Wait 1 hour.
Something hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's like I want to understand that too, just for my personal legality.
Yeah. But I'm almost sure that if he drank, he
Would
wouldn't
not
have-
drive, even if it's been like 3 hours after one beer.
especially because it's on public
Okay.
television. They wouldn't have showed that scene if he did.
It's weird because all the other ones they showed them calling a daddy. What is it?
I think he
replacement
might have
driver?
just drank non-alcohol.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah. Oksun versus Guy one. What did I write? Oh, like she started saying oppa. Like that's game over, right? Or is it too fake?
She was just like too overtly doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
they just like all liked it, which
Yeah.
was like kind of
I was gonna say this one. I've often joked like, oh, I've never been called oppa in my life, but it does have the same like feeling for Korean. Like if a girl calls you oppa, like oh, but I'll do anything for you type thing.
kind of like 설레.
What's sarle mean? Like your heart is like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that word has the same effect here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how do you think you would feel if someone actually called you oppa? Cringe or
Like if I was single and they were interested,
yeah?
let's get married. I've never been called oppa in my life.
But how do you even know?
Context.
But how do you even know what you would feel?
Doesn't matter, June. Oppa is like game over, right? At least in my mind, it's like it's almost like so exotic. Like oppa, like okay, game over. Yeah. Already,
You don't have like female cousins that are younger than you?
not that I would have ever. I am one of the youngest in my cousin cohort. Yeah, I've never been called young or anything for that matter. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I have now been officially called young here, but before moving here, never. That's one of the things. Like I want to call my older brother young, but I've never called him that. It's just too weird. Yeah, but I want to in a sense.
You know what?
I'll type it out sometimes, but I won't. I'll never say it. Yeah.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because your relationship with your brother growing up was English speaking.
Yeah. I almost never say 형.
Ah,
Yeah.
so funny. But do you call other older? Do you have people in your life you refer to as young?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
but
okay.
not to my actual 형.
brother. Again, I wrote they used the word glamour again. It's kind of at this point I said, is it the equivalent of sexy? But now I know it's not.
It is.
No, it's like full figured.
Yeah, it's not that direct equivalent, but like full figured has like it is.
It has sexy connotations.
Yeah.
But
That's
this
what
is
I'm
more specifically referring to like, let's say, an hourless figure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, anyway. Okay. Spend. Oh, She spent $2,000 to save a stray kitten. Come on, that can't be real. She lied.
It's very controversial
That
whether that was a lie or
People were talking about like, did she make that up?
because she was saying that to the
The
vet,
vet,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
But how can in my mind also how can she make that up?
But in my mind, who can spend $2,000 to save a stray kitten?
I don't know.
I don't care how much you love animals. Like no one, I don't think anyone's doing that
But if it's
out
like
of anyone I know.
very cute cat.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm speaking to the wrong. I know you're a cat lover. $2,000 to save a stray kitten? That's
I
crazy.
think it could happen.
Really?
Yeah, for if they're very animal lovers.
Okay. Maybe I'm off there.
I wouldn't think that it was too outrageous.
Uh-huh. Like so unbelievable.
Yeah, but it was too like she said it to the
To the
vet.
vet, it made it
so,
feel a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit calculated.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this was not your reference, June, but when the two guys were eating jjajangmyeon, they said someone said guljem. I was like, I know what that means now.
꿀잼
Guljem. Oh, that was so sad. I think it was that guy
영어
Young Shik, I think.
or 영식.
Is he's the really cringe guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't him, but I made the comment one of the guys was crying because of their low specs.
He
like it's
kept
so
on
sad.
crying.
Yeah.
It's like
And
every
even the hosts were
episode.
telling him like it's not all bad, but that made it worse. Like it was fake positivity. I was like, this guy has no chance. I feel bad for him. Yeah. It's like so low self-worth.
Yeah. He kept on crying. It's so
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Let's see. Kwangsu discussion of why the girl quit her job to seem okay, yeah. So in Kwangsu's 2-on-1 date,
Yeah.
one of the girls said he asked her why did you quit her job, and then she said to seem cool. And this is where I was saying like this is where I noted everyone is like putting up a front.
Mm.
I don't know what would Koreans think that's like a reasonable reason to quit a job to seem cool to other people. Yeah, it was like a cool thing to do.
Who said that?
One of them quit to basically do their own thing. I
That's
forget.
Kwangsu.
No, one of the girls did too. Because that's what they were connecting over.
Oh, I think it was Sunja.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just to seem cool. It felt like such a
It's like a
kind
fake.
of a bad answer.
Yeah.
Okay, is that more acceptable to a Korean audience? Like, oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, you want to seem cool to other people.
No, it's just like a fake thing that they say up front, kind of.
Okay.
It's one of those things that Korean people like say to each other that doesn't have any meaning.
Oh, as like a cover up when you don't want to give your real answer.
Maybe.
Like, let's say you, I don't know, got laid off or got fired
Yeah.
or had a horrible manager.
Yeah.
Would you just like, this is a safe, neutral thing to say so that they don't dig deeper?
Yeah, maybe.
But is it a very clear signal, like, don't dig deeper? Like, do Koreans have that much nunchi where it's like, oh, I shouldn't ask more here?
Oh, I actually have to rewatch it. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe there was like a very nuanced thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, to me, I made a note, like, it all just seems so tacky. Like,
Yeah.
you're not actually saying what you feel, and you're just, like, trying to do things to impress other people.
I think that
don't
is
know.
true. But there are a lot of, I think,
There's nuance to it.
there are like tactics in like conversational tactics in Korea
Mm-hmm.
where I don't really agree upon. It's like you throw fake words back and forth that doesn't mean anything. Kind of like
It's like a dance, right?
Yeah, I know that it's fake. You know that it's fake.
But
we're
let's keep
just
going.
saying, yeah.
Okay. I think the analogy I said was, to me, it feels like someone saying like, oh, why are you doing this? It's like, oh, because I want to be the most interesting person in the room. Like, you don't say it, even
Yeah.
if that's the reason why you do it. You just
Yeah.
don't say it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like tacky, right?
Yeah.
Substitute driver. Oh. I mean, this took place in a very rural area, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked. Like, even the substitute driver Dietary app works in such a remote area.
That's PPL.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I got.
but it might work, but it's also PPL.
But do you think if we went to that island right now, a Teddy would be able to be found at this time?
I mean, to be clear, it wasn't an island.
Oh, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It's a very remote area, though.
It's a remote area. I kind of think that it wouldn't work.
Would not, right? Okay.
Or it would be very difficult.
I remember...
They very suspiciously zoom into the
I feel
app.
so dumb. Like, I got by the PPL. Okay.
Yeah.
I just said, like, in the U.S., this would never work. Like, I remember a dinner in the Bay Area in like Sausalito.
Yeah.
It's like not a remote area, but
Mm.
it's not like a dense urban area
How
either.
could you not know? They're like zooming into the
I didn't
app,
know.
like oh, like pressing the button.
But I remember it was after team dinner. Drank too much again, not driving, being responsible. I'm not
Yeah.
irresponsible, guys.
Yeah.
But it was 9 p.m. I remember in Sausalito.
Mm.
No Uber to be found.
Yeah.
We tried for like an hour.
Hmm.
Eventually, we had to call someone to come pick us up.
Yeah.
Because literally, and this was earlier in the Uber Lyft days, to be clear. But if you can't even get an Uber at a reasonable hour in a pretty non-remote area in
It's
the
also Sausalito
US.
is like right across the bridge from downtown San
Yes,
Francisco.
yeah. Okay. Hyunsu one-on-one, most natural. Oh yeah, okay. Here's the thing. I made a note most natural, and then I said she was asking regular questions, right? Tell me about your job. What are your thoughts on parenting and finances? Like, yeah, it was boring, but I think to me that was the most normal. No one else was talking about the normal things. And it's kind of weird to me. If they're there really looking for love, I think you would get to those questions.
Yeah.
Oh, and then one of the girl characters noted in a way to express how she was thrifty, grew up thrifty, like, oh, my dad made me turn off all the lights before leaving the house. Is that seen as thrifty? Because in my mind, that's just standard. Like, that's basic.
It's more of, yeah, she's trying to express how frugal her upbringing was.
But is that a frugal example? Or, like, in my mind, 90% of families would be like that
Turn off all the lights.
before you leave the house.
I don't know what exactly they said, but yeah.
Sorry,
Now
is
that you say it,
is that just not standard?
it is standard. Now
The idea of leaving a light on at home, I would go nuts. Like, oh, did I turn that off? And not nuts. Okay, that's extreme. But I don't know. That's just I always check are any lights on before I leave the house.
yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Koreans would agree
maybe
with
it's
you.
translation issue. Did
Oh,
she actually say
maybe.
that? I don't know.
I think the Korean was that.
Really?
Yeah. Like, what's it? Okay.
I would think it's very weird if there's a family that they're okay with just turning on the lights all
Okay,
the
got
time.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So that would be seen as weird.
Yeah.
This might be TMI, Jin. My house went through a phase where my dad was trying to enforce us. Okay. There's some more history, but I'll just say it and then give context. To not flush after you pee.
I knew you would say
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that to me is a bit extreme.
It is.
There was a phase in California where there's drought conditions. There's even the phrase like, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. So it was like a statewide phrase, right? But that's when there's drought conditions. You're
Yeah.
trying to conserve water as a country, right? But I think my dad heard that and I was like, yup, we're doing that.
Oh my god.
June, I looked it up. A flush of the toilet, I think if I remember right, it's like 1/10 of a penny or something. It's so trivial.
Yeah.
But also in my house, my dad didn't let us take long hot showers. He would like make you turn on the water, turn it off, soap, turn it on, rinse, turn it on, like that type of thing. I agree, that's frugal. Turning the lights off, not frugal.
My mom.
What's the most frugal thing you had to do growing up?
So my mom, and she still does.
Yeah.
She never uses a whole napkin. She
Yeah,
tears it off,
up.
and then she she sticks it in back in the tissue box, like the half of it.
Yeah.
That I never understood that.
What's your feeling about that as a it's not as a Korean, maybe it's just more personal. I'm very proud of my frugal upbringing, but I guess I was trying to like lead to see if Koreans would be ashamed of their frugal upbringing.
I'm glad that my parents raised me to not be spoiled, but sometimes I thought it was too unnecessary.
Extreme,
An
yeah.
extreme, and it comes from a sense of obsession and not frugality.
I see.
Yeah.
Is there a sense of general, like, if you were to generalize and stereotype the Korean ethos around that, is it seen as something to be proud of, something to be embarrassed of, somewhere in the middle? Because I would say pretty confidently, most Americans see that as a source of pride. It's like, oh, I grew up poor, but like I made it in a sense, rather than like, oh, I grew up poor. And it's again something to be ashamed of or embarrassed of.
I think the sentiment has changed over time, and especially in a country like Korea where everyone almost started as poor.
Yeah. Nothing to be embarrassed of,
nothing
right?
to be embarrassed of. But I think this is kind of a unfortunate thing. But I think people start to think that like that 금수저, 흑수저 kind of narrative.
Yeah.
Like they're ashamed that they grew up in a poor family, kind of.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take the other end. Is there ever a sense for Koreans that growing up rich could be a bad thing, or something to be embarrassed of, or something to hide?
No.
See, that's very different. Yeah, I think
Mm.
in America, if you are like generally generationally wealthy or rich, I think you try to be very modest about it. Or if you kind of express it or make it obvious, it's like very classless, kind of seen as again like, wow, they're so full of themselves, arrogant almost. Yeah.
I think Korean people view, I don't know. It's because I feel like you're almost targeted as you're criticizing that because you're jealous, kind of.
Criticizing what if you're
If you
jealous?
criticize someone who's just rich because of
Oh,
inheritance, people
yeah.
would point at you saying that you're only saying that because you're jealous of
Yeah.
his lifestyle. And therefore, now the general, like that kind of enforce the entire society to like not even say anything negative about people like that.
Because you don't want to seem like you're jealous or
Yeah.
petty
And
or
now it's like, now it became the other extreme where people are just like overtly praising inherit inherit
yeah.
inherited wealth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not even inherited. Like even if you became rich on your own,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just seen as generally not classy to flaunt it, to brag about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I made a note. Crying guy's so nerdy. The commentators called it out too. When one of them talked about how she liked anime, the two nerds got so excited. Oh god.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like we have a shared hobby. I'm gonna ask her about. I was like, that's so nerdy. Okay, anyway, but
Was
I
she
could
not
resonate.
Oksun?
It might have been Oksun.
She's
Yeah.
she's almost like she talks about the animal thing to a vet. She
Yeah.
talks about anime
Nerdy
to the
anime
nerds.
things
Like
to the
she's like
nerds. Yeah.
very skillfully, strategically doing this.
Sorry, does being into anime carry the same connotation in Korea?
There are levels of animes.
I know, but like,
Like if I watch Dragon Ball,
yeah,
it's like
mainstream.
completely normal.
Yeah, yeah,
If I watch like this some kind of Japanese like hardcore thing that
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never
yeah.
heard of, then you're considered
Okay,
a
okay,
nerd.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, agree. I think this is where my notes get really thin. Okay, June, I have a note here. I agree it's lame that Young Ho, who is the male center, was going after everyone like so shamelessly and desperately.
Youngho did?
Yeah,
He did?
yeah.
He went for Youngja.
No,
And then
I think there was a point where he was literally going after everyone. And to me, it's so desperate. Yeah.
uh
But then, like, when the girl does it, it almost feels okay. But when the guy does it, it feels a bit shameless. But anyway, I don't know if there's anything we're talking about there.
I don't think that was very obviously called out in the show. I didn't know that he was doing it. Yeah.
Got it. And Young Ho was the guy we like, right? Like, or you like? He's like kind of the nerdy app developer, right?
Yeah.
I feel seen. Okay. Yeah, again, my notes are super thin now. Oh, yeah. This is the start of the end for our guy, Young Chick.
Yeah. Okay.
Reading the full dialogue about, I'm just a star next to you, but you're my main character dialogue before the random date. And then almost crying while you were saying it. I was
Yeah.
just like, just stop. It's so cringe and desperate. Just stop. That was it gets far worse, guys, if you haven't seen the show.
I want to talk about certain things about this guy.
Okay.
Though like the moment when I felt like this guy's kind of abnormal
Yeah.
is when he promised that he would make
Oh, yeah.
something and
Yeah.
just didn't.
I think like beef radish soup or something.
Yeah, 소고기
묵국,
묵국, right?
uh-huh.
And then he just
He
didn't.
didn't, yeah.
That part was so like mind blowing to
Yeah.
me. Like what is going through his mind, right?
And then when Ok-sun called them out on it, he like
It's like, you didn't even ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gaslit her. It was very toxic.
That part was made me rethink about this guy.
Is especially as the show got on, especially to the really bad scenes, he's really creepy, right?
He is.
Would Koreans describe him as creepy? Is there a word for creepy? He's just like a stalker type, right?
Yeah,
Obsessed.
yeah.
Okay.
소름 끼친다. That's creepy, I think, in Korean.
Oh, it's a long translation of creepy.
Like it gives me goosebumps.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But do you use that word frequently? It's like commonly understood
Yeah.
feeling. Okay.
Yeah.
Like stop being creepy, desperate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that scene when it was not even like secretly peeking out, but like you
Oh,
said,
that was so. Yeah, that's when I got really uncomfortable. Actually,
it's so
like,
weird.
do they have people on set to protect this Oksun?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I felt really uncomfortable. Actually,
Yeah.
was it funny or did you also feel like?
I was like, what
Uncomfortable.
the F is going
Okay.
on?
But maybe it's like my safety triggers or whatever. Like, did
Yeah.
you ever feel like really scared for her?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay,
did.
okay,
Yeah.
even though it's like on film.
When he asked her out,
Yeah.
like after that whole incident,
Yeah.
I was like,
I
is she gonna be okay?
yeah,
Kind of,
yeah. Oh,
If I were her, I would just say like I'm not gonna go
yeah,
out.
or I would
Yeah.
like called the cops or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like it was very uncomfortable. Like yeah, when he was peeking out, that was so. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was special in that way. Oh my
Uh-huh.
god.
We have to talk about the scene though.
Which scene?
That epic scene.
Oh, with the 5-on-1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's fast forward to that. So again, for our audience, pretty close to the end of the show,
Yeah.
5 guys picked Oksun. So they went out to dinner. Oksun and 5 guys.
Yeah.
And she asked them, I think, like, let's all go around and say, I don't know, why you like... Everyone tell me why you like me, right?
I don't think she initiated it.
Or like, it became like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
all go around.
Yeah.
And I think she might have, but anyway. I don't know.
He started
It was so...
he started reading something that
He wrote
on-
like a little thing on his phone that he
yeah.
started reading to her. He started crying like crazy. But it was just so... It's like how I would think of someone who's never ever dated in their
yeah.
life, but has a chance with like a celebrity that they're obsessed with. It was that level of like stalker fandom.
Yeah.
And it was just so awkward. And again, the 4 other guys are just like, what is happening right now?
But I guess all the audience were doing the same,
Same
thing.
thing.
But I was literally like, what the
No, I was like,
going
what
on?
the F is happening right now? Like, this can't be real.
It's
But he was
definitely one of the most epic scenes of the entire season.
series, yeah. And he was like legit though.
Yeah.
I don't think he was faking it.
You couldn't, like, who could fake that?
Oh, it was so weird. I don't know what else there's to say about. Oh, there was one part where like someone tried to like stop the awkwardness.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty rude.
Yeah.
It was like he was like, "Let me finish."
Yeah.
Like very like dramatically,
Yeah.
right? But everyone like backed off.
I love like the emotional or like the transition of reaction because first they were like covering their mouths trying to like not
At first
laugh,
it was funny.
and then it became like so awkward and kind of
yeah.
serious, and they didn't
Kinda
even
scared.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
scary. They didn't even know what to do.
This guy has serious. I think I don't want to be too mean, but okay. Here's the thing: the host kept saying like, "Oh, poor guy, don't you feel bad for him?"
Mm.
Is that at all the feeling that viewers would have had for him?
No, but his role is to
Yeah.
if there are certain scenes that might seem too negative.
Trying to bring it back to the neutral. Or
Yeah,
positive.
he tried to calibrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. There was no. I mean, okay. How can that character now live in Korean society?
Everyone thought so too. Like,
Okay.
how can he live after this?
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah. Or like, how did he go to work and like perform his normal job?
It was very crazy. I mean, honestly, if I'm Oksun too, I would be afraid to. He
Yeah.
would stalk me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also want to talk about Kwangsu a little bit. Like
Yeah,
that those two, like, other than this scene, I
Yeah.
think the other scene that really stuck in my head was what he said about like his past life with one of the dates with I think Sunja, was
Yeah,
it?
because you told me off before we recorded.
Yeah.
Kwangsu, you really didn't like,
I didn't like it.
which I was shocked by.
Really?
I'll talk about why I don't like him, but I don't feel strongly. I think you like really don't like him.
It's one of those people
Yeah.
that I really hate that I sometimes meet in Korea
Uh-huh.
that are so proud of themselves
Yeah,
that
yeah.
always go for efficiency and
Uh,
like don't value anything other than efficiency and almost
oh,
very proud of the fact that they are. Like
okay. What did he say? Yeah.
when he described that, oh, he never ate with his colleagues and he thought like that 1 hour was very
Oh, that was
wasteful to
too
him.
much, right? Like
And he was
over.
almost saying as if like he's so
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
proud.
yeah.
And I think it triggers something in
Oh,
me. Like I
interesting.
hate
Yeah.
it. I just hate people like that.
Okay.
I mean,
Uh,
I can understand
yeah.
that there are people like that, but especially when people think that they're very proud that they live that way.
Yeah, very unself-aware, right?
Yeah.
Just like yeah, because everyone would most Koreans react like you are, maybe not as extreme,
Mm.
but you're like, oh, you're a jerk, right? That's so inhumane or impersonable.
Yeah, again, I think it triggers something in me that
Uh,
it makes me react more more extremely.
yeah,
But I just like really hate those type of people.
but it fits his. I was gonna say, I don't know if this is too much, but he has a very punchable face.
Yeah, you told me.
Is would you immediately understand what that means?
No, I don't. So I think you have to explain it to
Oh,
the audience.
well, at least our Korean listeners. I don't know. You just like someone who's so arrogant,
Yeah.
cocky, but not self-aware.
Mm,
But like, you just want he just elicits this in you. You just
yeah.
want to punch him.
Yeah.
But it's his like face and personality almost.
Mm,
That focus on like brutal efficiency.
yeah.
That particular line where like I'm not gonna waste an hour talking to eating with my coworkers proudly.
Mm.
That does nothing for me. I don't
Ah,
care.
really?
Yeah, I'm just he's just a loner. He's just like antisocial.
Yeah.
But his overall demeanor,
Mm,
how arrogant and cocky and full of himself he is,
mm,
in a sense, like he's the type of person too that's like I don't know if you get in a fight, he's actually gonna run away because he
yeah.
has no backbone to it.
Mm, mm,
He's all like just talk right and
mm,
show. Yeah,
mm. I think if I try to analyze myself,
yeah.
inherently, like I went to architecture school, I do design. Inherently, there's something in the arts that is, this is like by nature kind of useless
Okay, interesting.
in terms of efficiency.
Ah, I see. Okay, okay.
And I think it triggers me when someone like
Ah,
that's so
discredits it.
yeah, like everything that's not for like monetary value or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like undermining what I do, kind of. I think that's
Interesting.
what triggers me. I don't
Yeah.
know.
But does he give you the overall vibe of like, oh, he's so cocky, full
He
of
is like,
himself?
yeah.
Like,
For
does it
no
make you
re-
want to punch him in the face?
Yeah. And
Uh,
when he effing like sang 23 songs.
that was so okay. Yeah, that was. He's like maybe a narcissist type. I
Yeah.
don't know, but yeah, he has a very punchable face. I think. Yeah, that much is clear. Oh, okay, okay. There was one reference, June. I was surprised to hear this in this like Korean reality show.
Hmm.
They said he's like the Terminator coming out of the magma. Koreans know Terminator references.
Of course.
Terminator was a very famous movie here.
Yes.
Really?
Indeed, yeah.
That was. I mean, I don't know why I find that surprising.
Ah.
I mean, it's a huge epic, all time great in America.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the type that I thought would have reached here. I don't know, like Gone with the Wind or Sound of Music. I understand,
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess I was just surprised.
Yeah. It was famous enough to become like a cultural reference. Yeah.
Terminator. Okay,
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah, nice. Get down.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. We're at the end. Daycare teacher. Oh yeah. Okay. What do
You know that there was a huge culture of like video rentals in Korea, right? That you see in
No, but
like
like the
in
corner store.
like you I surprisingly saw one in the mid 2000s in K-Town, LA.
That I know. In the U.S., yes, but in
That was a
Korea,
Korean culture that
brought over to
yeah.
K-Town, like Blockbuster.
Yeah, when I was little,
Yeah.
there's like a huge culture where you consume American Hollywood movies. and
Were they
such.
bootleg? Or were they legit?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it never felt that like shady, but there must have been some that was like not completely copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paying their royalties. Yeah. Okay. I think the other character we should talk about is that daycare teacher.
Yeah.
I said maybe my second favorite at the beginning.
Hmm.
She was weird too, right? Like I kept noting like her laugh. She laughed at the most awkward times. And then she
Ah.
cried randomly.
Yeah.
Like I would describe her as manic
Yeah.
almost. Like she
Yeah.
just one extreme to the other. And
When
her
you-
laugh she laughed at the most inappropriate, awkward moments.
Almost felt like a defense mechanism.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but I thought it was a manic personality type. Yeah.
Mm.
But did you also think that was weird?
Yeah.
She laughed too much inappropriately, right?
When Yongho was being very serious.
Yeah, just
like,
laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
felt very rude.
Agreed. All right,
Yeah.
that's the same. Kwangsu revealing his true. Oh yeah. This is what I was saying. Okay, because in the beginning, I think Kwangsu more than anyone embodied that. I want to just show off the impressive parts. Everyone wants to, just pretend to be very impressive. But then, like, when you really get to know him, he's really weird, super full of himself.
Yeah.
And like, there was one date. It's funny because they did choose each other at the end, right?
진짜.
But there was that moment where it's just like, if you really get to know him, how could anyone like choose him?
Yeah.
I just noted that, right? It's just like,
What did you think about him asking the same questions to everyone?
I like that kind of. Yeah.
Or
I mean,
you liked it or you were just okay with it?
to me, it makes him seem more serious. Yeah. Like he actually wants to compare them against each other and like hear the whole gamut of answers.
Yeah.
So to me, it seemed like, oh, maybe he's genuine and really trying to find love. Yeah. You thought it was cringe?
Not cringe, but I
Oh.
thought he was kind of naive in the sense that did he not know that the girls are going to talk to each other?
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Because he like even asked like kind of like borderline kind of sexual questions too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I missed it.
Oh, you know,
Or maybe the translation didn't show it.
this is the funny thing about Korean, the way that Koreans use English.
Yeah.
They use the word skinship
Yeah.
as a way to like
Oh, imply.
imply sexual relationships.
Whoa. Isn't kissing skinship too? No?
Kissing and beyond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, even kissing would be qualified under skinship, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But it's funny. I was going to say kissing's not sexual. I guess it is. But in
Kinda.
my mind, I don't really associate it with. Yeah. I would not say it's that sexual.
But he kept on like even like for those questions, he
Yeah.
asked the same questions to multiple
Oh,
women.
wait. Did he ask stuff like, what are your thoughts on skinship?
Yeah.
Oh, that
He
I
did.
didn't pick up. Okay.
Maybe because you just heard it as skinship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think he's implying like, what?
He is.
How often are we going to do it when we're married? Stuff
Or
like
like
that?
he said like how. Yeah, what do you think about skinships between couples or something?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he's
We'll get to
definitely
that later.
Yeah, it was definitely implying like what do you think about like sexual relationships in a couple? Yeah.
I see. But I would say that's a very practical question, Jun.
It is a practical question,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't ask the same question word by word to multiple women because I mean it's okay if it's not in this like show format,
Yeah.
but like they'll talk to each other.
I see.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that though? I feel like he was at least very transparent.
But
I don't know if he was naive to the fact
if
that the
I were
girls
to
would
be
talk.
the receiving side,
Yeah.
I would feel less special and just one of the interviewees.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I guess from the very practical side though, I see some benefit in asking all of them the same questions.
I think that's what one of the hosts mentioned too. But it seemed kind of
I see.
he could have been more careful.
All right, we're up to that famous episode 188. Just like my quote, my note is like, what the F is this guy doing? It is super creepy. It's so weird. And then I was saying too, like this is where I noted, as I noted with Kwangsu earlier, but now I felt like by the end of the show, everyone's let their guard down. And all of a sudden they're being more authentic and they're just like way less attractive across the board, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on, like why pretend? Like just be who you are in the beginning. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like I hate this whole like fake putting on a persona like show. Just be yourself. I don't know.
I think Youngchul was being like that, the judo guy.
Oh yeah.
He was
felt like
always I
pretty
think
real.
he was like whatever.
Yeah,
right?
by the end he was my favorite.
Yeah.
Along with I still like Sangchul. I don't know why. He just gives off like positive energy in general. But
I loved his demeanor in like that 5-1 dating. It's like, oh, I'm just giving up. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then Oksun called him 한남자, was like loser.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the judo player.
Yeah.
The judo athlete. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. She is just bitter. I don't know why I wrote this. I said, oh, maybe I was still in relationship and referring to Young Chick, but I was like, it's not really love at all. It's just obsession.
It is obsession.
It's like in Frozen, the way that Anna wanted to get married from the creepy prince after like 2 hours of singing. Yeah, just like, yeah. Okay, and then my only note is from the very last episode, June.
What the only episode that I didn't watch?
Oh, okay. It's like literally the last scene.
Yeah.
The guy said, "사랑해," like
영식 said 사랑해?
Kwangsu. Wait, who ended up actually coupling off?
Oh, 광수?
Yeah, Kwangsu said "사랑해" to her. Yeah, and then she was like, "You can't say that." But to your point, like you say, Koreans will say "I love you" at the very beginning of the relationship.
But I've never seen anyone say that in Neun Solo though.
But I think it definitely fits Kwangsu. Like he's just trying to play into this like super romantic, head over heels type thing.
But you know, so this is the thing about Neun Solo. After the last episode, an hour after it ends, they do a live broadcast on YouTube.
Oh, so even this has one?
Yeah.
Oh, I might go I did not watch it. I might want to go watch it.
And they invite all the people of that season.
Yeah.
And so from the time that it recorded to now, there's like 6
time
months
passed.
gap.
6 months passed.
6
Okay,
month-ish.
okay. Yeah.
So like the big question is like, are you still a
Still
couple?
together.
Like what are your statuses now? Blah blah blah. And they're not.
Oh, they broke up
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah. I saw that. I mean, I guess I was legitimately surprised that Sunja still chose to try to date him. Because, there was all this like drama at the end.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. He was singing in the car for 22 straight songs. Like just, I don't know, pretty classic, just like very full of himself.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm surprised that she chose him, and I'm not surprised at all it didn't last. Yeah.
I thought she thought that his apology was authentic.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't think anything about that guy is authentic.
I thought so too.
You cannot trust him. He's
Yeah.
like so snaky. Okay, I want to watch this because I am curious about Oksun, and I'm
Oksun
curious.
didn't show up.
Oh, lame. It's not in the contract. You have to show up.
I don't think it is.
Ah, it's lame.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about Young Chick. Yeah, our
I
guy.
think Youngshik showed up.
How have you lived life the last 6 months? Like, or how do you think you'll be able to live in the future
Yeah.
after this show?
How can he get married?
How can he like is? And anyway, no.
But it seems like he's enjoying his like semi-celebrity
Celebrity,
life.
yeah. That also fits his character,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I am open to anyone changing June, so I'm more than happy to if he ever said like, yeah, I was young, first love, it was obsession. I get it, but I wish I didn't act that way, but it just came out. If he said that, okay, move on. All right. Well, that was season 24 of Neun Solo.
I have a question. For
Yes, now we can do more general ramblings about the show.
you. While you were watching it, have you ever thought of I want to be in that show?
Yes and no. Yeah, okay, my favorite trope in K-dramas, June, is cohabitation. So forced like contract marriage or like strangers become like, actual happy couple. Yeah. So I think in general the idea of being on that show it is appealing to me. But if I actually had to stop and think about it, like no, I don't want my life out there. I don't want fame. It's like, what are the chances you actually find someone? Like,
Okay, what if it's like a offline format thing that they arrange? So
Yeah,
everything minus the
TV broadcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It sounds fun. Yeah. I don't know. I'd be open to it. But I think I would not go in with any expectation you'd actually find like a suitable match. It's more just like, it's like a fun
Fun thing,
dating show type thing. Yeah. Like, I have a very limited dating history, but in my mind, like, I don't know, speed dating could be fun. Like, it could be fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've never done anything like that. Yeah. How about you, Jin? Would you apply?
I wouldn't apply because of the
Broadcast?
broadcast factor, but I always think that it must be so fun.
Fun? Yeah.
I want to be if there's an offline format.
Which name would you be?
That's a good question. I always
So okay, you have to go through the stereotypes again. Youngsu is the oldest. No, Youngshik is the old. Wait, sorry.
to be clear, certain names I think it's very blurry, vague. I don't even know if there's a type,
Association. Okay, okay, okay.
but it's just my personal thing. I think Youngsus are the hyung type,
Okay.
like the oldest.
That fits the season. Is Young Ho then the maknae style?
I don't know about Youngho and Youngshik.
Oh.
There's not a clear image to me.
Let's say Young Ho, I think, is the more quiet style. Young Shik, I would say, is let's say like maknae energy.
Let's say, yeah,
And then Young Chul is macho.
yeah,
Kwangsu's unique, right? Weird.
yeah, yeah.
Eccentric. Let's use the word eccentric. And then Sangchul is what? Cool?
Cool guy, yeah, I
Okay,
think
okay,
so.
okay. Yeah. Which one would you fit into?
If you define Youngho and Youngshik that way, I think I would either be Youngho or Kwangsu.
Young Ho being the quiet
guy,
type,
yeah.
or Kwangsu unique. Yeah, I feel that. I could get behind that.
What about you?
I mean, maybe Mangne energy.
Youngho or
Youngshik.
Youngshik?
Youngshik, yeah.
Yeah.
Young Ho, I am quiet, but I don't think I'm like overly quiet. No, I don't think I fit the Young Ho. So
I don't think so.
Youngshik is like-
Let's roll out. I don't think you're a Kwangsu.
definitely not macho.
You're not a Kwangsu or a Youngchul.
Definitely not Kwangsu. I would say yeah, maybe the cool Sangchul, but mostly Youngshik, just like quiet. Sorry, young, naive,
Yeah,
semi high energy.
you might be Youngshik
Yeah,
then.
I think I'd be a Youngshik. It's funny because one of my good friends is named Youngshik. Does that happen to you a lot? Like, do you know someone named Youngsu, Youngho, Youngshik?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean it happens with Daniel, David types, but like
yeah.
I don't know. For me, when I see these names, I always think it's like, oh,
It's
I know a
funny.
Youngshik.
It's
Yeah.
funny because the guys' names are more my generation,
Uh-huh.
and the girls' names are my mom's generation. I don't know if it was
I see.
intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't really see Oksun or Sunja.
Oksun
It's like
sounds
not
like
even.
Kim Samsun, like an old
Yeah, it's
name.
almost like
Yeah.
my mom's or even above my mom's generation's name. Yeah, but like Youngho is like actually my generation name.
Youngsuk and Jungsuk, I think, are old sounding. Oh, am I getting better at this? Sunja doesn't seem that bad. That could be modern, right?
No,
No, Sunja. Like Samsun, Sun is older.
and Cha is also very.
Suk for sure is old.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ja is
Cha
old.
is old. Yeah,
Oh, so Youngja. I was gonna say Youngja doesn't sound bad either. The
Youngcha.
Suks all sound old to me, but the
Something
Young, the
Cha comes from the Japanese colonization era.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I mean, anything else related to Neun Solo? Okay, is it common on most seasons for most people to say no vote at the end?
Yeah, it's very rare.
Like, what percent of seasons end in like one couple or two couples? Yeah.
Most of them.
Oh, so one or two
Yeah.
at most.
Yeah.
But do most people opt out, or they're just not a match?
That depends on the season.
I guess I'm just surprised they didn't at least, maybe there's not a high chance of it working out, but still at least pick the best of the six. I don't
Some
know.
people do that.
That's how I would maybe approach it. I don't know.
Yeah, some people do that. It's like regardless of whether that person likes me or not, I'm just gonna say it and like tell them my name.
But this season was basically everyone opted out because everyone wanted Oksun.
Yeah. And I didn't watch the last episode, but I
Yeah.
heard what Oksun said in the end.
What did she say?
I think she said like 뭐 이성으로 느껴지는 사람이 단 한 명도 없었습니다. Which is a very like nuance is that I haven't even found one person who felt like a man.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically saying like no one's even close to my league.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. I think that's it. I was into it in the, let's say, at first episode I wasn't into it. After the Jagisoge, which is self-introduction, right? It was kind of more interesting. But then once the dynamics played out, just like Oksun, I was like, that actually makes her less attractive to me in a sense.
I think that applies to most men.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why this season was so unique.
And then yeah, the young chick. Oh man, that I didn't think it was that off at first, but then it went downhill quick. Yeah. Okay. Let's do Patreon. We have a bunch.
Mm.
Again, it has been a long time. Oh, I think we should also say for the record in our let's in our closing, we've received a lot of very supportive messages, emails, etc. I think again the tension, and can we use tension in this way? The English tension, the tension in our conversations, I think, is apparent in the last 3 episodes, and so people have expressed a lot of concern and support for us. So really appreciate that. But we're just very behind on responding to emails or anything like that. So again, ask for your understanding. But again, really, it means a lot when we receive and read them. Okay, okay, man, it's been so long. If you'd like to support our podcast, the number one thing you can do is share us with a friend or colleague or someone that you think might enjoy it as well. Beyond that, you can become a Patreon and get access to our exclusive Discord, where you too can discuss the latest episode, engage in conversations with other listeners, and also propose future episode topics.
The Discord channel is becoming very active.
Yeah, pretty active.
I
Yeah.
love it.
I'm very, very happy that we've created this, community of people who can engage with each other and talk about, their cultural perspectives and things like that. So, since last recording, we've had, I won't count them, but let's go through the patrons since last recording. First up, we have Iswat. Thank you, Iswat. Thank you to... All right, we're gonna butcher this, but thank you to Ranvi Guan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Ducey. Thank you, Ducey. This one's fun. Thank you to City Youth Martial Arts.
This is the one who
DM'd
DM'd
us? Yeah, they DM'd us.
Yeah.
They run a taekwondo studio, non-profit, I believe, in Milwaukee, I believe it was. And I really love what you guys are doing there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sangan.
Thank you, Sangan.
Thank you, Edmund.
Thank you, Edmund.
Thank you to Stephanie.
Edmund's having a hard time accessing our Discord channel.
Sorry, Edmund. We will make sure you get access to it.
Yeah.
Thank you to Danim. Thank you, Danim.
Thank you, Danim.
Okay.
Did we do Stephanie?
I said Stephanie.
Okay.
Maybe you didn't say it.
I didn't say. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie. From Canada. I think we can say that.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you very much.
At least as of recording time, our longest episode yet by a considerable margin. So we'll see what happens when we edit.
People love long episodes, so I'm not that worried.
Do they?
They say that it's good.
I think there are limits here. Maybe 90 to 2 hours is sweet spot. It's 3 hours right now, but okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. I'm forgetting all my words too.
Oh, did you use up all your quota?
No, I didn't use up my quota. I'm just forgetting my terms. Oh my gosh.
Describe it to me.
It's like when you eat like some unhealthy food. It's just like my candy, oh my god, yeah, my candy fix.
Guilty pleasure?
Oh yeah. Yes. How would you describe the Korean descriptions of him? Like, how do Koreans think about him? Just like a crazy guy.
Yeah.
Bad thing?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it borderline curse slur?
It is.
Really?
Sorry, we have to, yeah.
Nom is a slur?
Yeah.
No.
It is.
Oh my god. Really?
Yeah.
It just means crazy guy.
But it's almost like retard, right?
That's not that bad.
Retard?
Yeah.
Calling someone retard is bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like borderline curse word, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I would just use that pretty casually.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't. Okay, I need to recalibrate my. Okay, anyway.